Maddie and
I
don't like Ponyo. I don't love it. It's not my fave. It's no cat.
It's not my fave, but she's not creepy, you fucking
when
animal.
it was on, when like Ponyo commercials were on like Disney Channel, Maddie and I would sing a version of the Ponyo song, just going Ponyo, Ponyo. She's a little fish. Ponyo, Ponyo, a fish that talks, because we didn't know what the words were, but we just knew the tune.
Yeah.
There is a line that's Ponyo, 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 happy little fish.
Yeah. Ponyo, Ponyo,
What's the
a
second
fish
half?
with a face.
What's the second half? Happy little fish.
Ponyo, Ponyo.
Now she is a girl with a round tummy.
I don't think that's right.
Now she's a girl and she saved the whole sea.
That song has a lot more lyrics every time that I listen to it than I expected to have.
At least it's more upbeat than Ariete. That was a rough one.
Ariete.
Ariete.
And she lives in tea.
She's a tiny girl. She befriended a boy
with tuberculosis.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
My space here.
Tiny little people, tuberculosis. He's got a deadly disease.
Yeah, he's terminal.
You should watch Osmosis Jones for this podcast.
Oh, Osmosis Jones
might end up on the list.
I love Osmosis Jones.
I can't say Osmosis Jones to the tune of the Ponyo song, so I think
my name is what? My name is who? My name is what? Osmosis Jones. It's the best movie. It's so good. As Bill Murray, it's the peak of his career.
I just remember there's one scene in that movie where Bill Murray has a pimple on his head that explodes.
That is the worst. That part is the worst.
It's fucking gross.
I haven't seen it since I was a little kid. As far as I can remember, like most of that movie is like
it's mostly animated.
Well, it's like Bill Murray like having diarrhea or whatever. Like fat, sweaty Bill Murray.
There's a scene where Bill Murray is eating a hard-boiled egg, drops it in a monkey cage, and picks it up and eats it again.
Right. And gets a horrible illness.
Why does he have a deadly disease? Also, I think like
what? Weird.
I also think like his relationship with his daughter is falling apart or something.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Isn't the like big bad fight at the end of the movie like on the little girl's false eyelashes that she's wearing for some reason?
Oh yeah,
something about her eyeball.
No, because the eyelash like falls into like alcohol to clean it, and then that's when the hot like guy with the side finger, that's when he dies.
Because one white blood cell from Bill Murray got onto his daughter's eyeball and made it back inside him.
Do you guys remember the scene where the bad guy is like on the boat with the other like cells, and he like cuts the one guy open, and he like explodes from the inside out? That fucked me up as a kid.
But it's a cell.
Body
horror. Like, what a weird concept for a movie.
Yeah, just like
human body. I don't know.
Like,
what if there was a movie where it was all about Bill Murray burping and farting and pooping and sweating?
If it was about like the cells of the body, but it's like a buddy cop?
They have like jobs. Yeah.
And then,
also
Bill Murray is shitting and farting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he dies at the end.
Awacab.
Yeah.
All white. Oh wait,
Awacab.
And they play the world falls to the ground song with Osmosis Jones and the pill like holding hands as Bill Murray just like disintegrates or whatever.
No.
I don't remember.
They go on a hike at the end.
Bill Murray farts himself to death.
This is disrespectful to Osmosis Jones. I will not stand for it.
Rip in peace, Osmosis Jones.
I always think it's Will Smith in that movie, but it's Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
What an incredible film.
Oh, she's leaving.
And it's just gone. Okay.
Jackson, what did you do?
Ponyo. Guess how many times I saw In the Heights last week?
How many times did you watch In the Heights?
In between Thursday and Monday, 4 times.
Were they all in
Kezia,
theaters?
You like to...
No, only 3.
Okay.
Keisha,
noted.
you like to describe yourself as a recovering theater kid. I think
I
that's
do.
that's what we call a relapse.
A relapse.
Yeah.
Relapsed theater kid.
Like a lot of friends who I wanted to see it with, and I was like, well.
Can you super quick, one of you guys, just go in the Discord and at everybody that we're streaming right now? That would be nice.
I can at everybody.
Get the butts. Because that's your job, Keisha. Your job is getting butts and seats.
That's what they say.
That's what they call me. Butts and seats.
Butts and seats, McGraw.
I guess I didn't actually. Why can't
The fastest shot in the West. I could kill Bill Murray with one fart. What is it?
What?
Kill Bill Murray?
No, because he gets
That's
like
what that movie's called, right? With the siren.
Kill
Bill
Bill
Murray.
Murray.
Guys, new YouTube challenge. Kill Bill Murray.
So okay.
The plot of Osmosis Jones is that there's like the cell, and he's like the
I say
Scarlet Fever.
at everyone. Sorry.
Is
like,
it?
Everybody's not working.
Somebody's trying to kill Bill Murray.
Right, but what's the disease he has? Is it like tuberculosis or
is
like?
it the Scarlet Fever?
It's called Thrax.
Thrax.
So it's not like a disease. It's
a made-up disease.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
It's evocative of anthrax, but not necessarily.
I bet you $10 billion you can find an animated AMV about how hot he is. Hold on.
Almost for sure. Yeah, I rewatched that in college, like freshman year, because I was like, was Osmosis Jones real? And so I looked it up and watched it. And
it really
it is a movie.
It really is. It certainly is.
So I did just Google Thrax AMV as just a goof, and about 200,000 results did come up. So I would just like to say that I think I know the internet.
Okay. So let's see. Let me pull this up.
Oh God.
Let's get this on the stream.
Get this copyrighted music and visual.
Perfect. Okay.
Also, if you haven't watched LUCA yet, you could literally be watching it at the same time that you're listening to the music, to the podcast. Hello, this is our new album. This is our newest album, No Nerds Allowed, LUCA, featuring Anna Maguire.
Okay, give me
I
just a moment.
I have the rap section in one of the verses.
And that's why it's featuring.
Yep.
I did see The Conjuring 3. I watched it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I do think
all right.
It was fine. It was good.
Did you get your Christian romance, Jackson?
Yeah. But hold on.
Yeah, that part at the end though with the locket, I was like.
But we are all going to be quiet now because
so
we're going to watch Thrax You're Not Me AMV all together. You guys won't be able to see it, but the stream will, and that's what's really important. I'll send you.
I'm watching this.
Okay. I'll try to comment on it.
So I mean, we can start it at the same time. I can't send you a link because I can't fiddle with Discord, but just Google Thrax AMV. The title of the video is Thrax You're Not Me AMV.
I'm gonna watch the stream on Twitch.
Is there like a watch party that we can do?
No, just Google it. We'll start 3, 2, 1. Go quickly. This is
I was
dead
joking.
Air.
I was joking.
I clicked on it. It's from 2008.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, are we all there?
Okay, no, I don't have it.
So
Hang
loud.
on. Give me a second. What's it called?
Thrax
AMV.
You're Not Me AMV.
Oh God, this is gonna be really weird for my recommendations. Okay.
It's gonna ruin your algorithm.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, start the video in 3, 2, 1, now.
It's
so
someone
grainy.
like recording
Yeah,
their
somebody recording their TV.
Recording their laptop screen, yeah.
Oh man, this movie's so much gooier than I remember.
It's the goopy.
Fuck yeah.
Inside a body.
Yeah.
It's a defo of goop.
What company made this movie?
I don't
God, I
remember.
have no idea.
It can't be Disney, right? Like Fox, 20th Century Fox.
This is this perfect sexual awakening, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
Oh, doing fucking karate kicks.
No one understands. trying to kill Bill Murray.
But like, wait, what kind of body? What part of the body are we in right now?
I haven't.
Yeah, what's
Gotta watch
this?
the film, Keisha.
Is this anatomically correct? Oh God!
What's he
Is this?
doing?
Does he have AIDS?
Oh shit!
Oh, he's
Yeah,
about to make the guy
that's
explode.
what fucked me up when I was a kid.
Oh no, the hot one, the hot white blood
Hot
cell.
white blood cell.
Right.
So white blood cells don't necessarily have to heal the body. Is that what's happening? I thought all white blood cells had to be cops.
She like works in the cop office, I think.
Oh, the cop fist.
It's like,
Because she's
What
got a
is this?
suit on.
What is this jizz world we keep cutting back to?
yeah, I don't know.
Where do they have
He
this
really
like
just worked.
confrontation?
His DNA, dude.
I
This
think
is
that's
AIDS.
on the eyeball. Isn't it?
Whoa! Did you guys see that? She had it lip synced. Oh fuck
Whoa.
yeah! Whoa!
Oh yeah, that's like on somebody's eyeball, I think.
On
That they're
the
fighting.
Oh, it's on the eyeball. It's not
Top
in.
of the eyeball.
Not jizz
Oh,
world.
so we just stole some, like one, like
We're giving Bill
Eurostar-
Murray AIDS. Yeah.
Is
That's
that
how
the plot of
DNA
this
works.
movie that Bill Murray got AIDS from a monkey cage?
No.
Oh, it's like a made-up disease.
Right.
Yeah, this is a metaphor. Oh,
But is
this
it
fun,
meant
though,
to
like
be
the
AIDS?
bloodstream?
It's a metaphor
I don't
for
think
pigs.
so.
God, there's so much goo in this.
This is like one of those
Yeah.
movies that came out like right when they were starting to put 3D and 2D together.
Yeah,
Right.
so they
Yeah.
just go fucking bonkers with it. Yeah.
Like it's not the
Oh.
goo that bothers me. It's like the color of the goo. The like brown,
Oh, like
pussy
weird
goo.
gray.
Yeah,
It's
it looks gross.
shapely for sure.
Shapely.
Oh,
they used
Oh,
this
no.
one twice.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's their favorite moment.
Yeah, that really did
I
it for
like
somebody.
I like how they edited the whole thing and then just didn't export it. They just
Do they have
Yeah.
credits? I'm
they
really
just
interested to
recorded
see
it
if
on
they
their
do like,
phone.
thanks for watching my video. I love when that happens.
I will say they like didn't really. That's not really how viruses work, but you know.
Yeah, they also
No
don't have
credits.
faces, Keisha.
I mean, it depends on the
Kezia.
virus. It all depends.
Did you see, what was it, like the Taiwan
facts
like
outta
health
here.
organization or something that drew like hot anime boys for like every disease? Did you see those pictures?
That sounds like something. That really does sound like something.
Well,
That's
I mean,
so
like
funny.
the actual
I
art
know,
is like
right.
beautiful. It's just like, look, here's smallpox, and it's like this like hot anime boy. It's really funny.
Anthrax.
It's like ooh.
Ooh, woo.
Yeah, it's like
Coronavirus.
oh, here's the bubonic
You know,
plague, and it's like this like hot woman
Listen,
with this like
Anthrax
veil
is just
on.
my
and I'm like,
comfort character. He's my little baby. I don't listen. You can like a character without
He's
condoning their
misunderstood.
actions. Listen, I love Anthrax. Do I think he's a good guy? No, but I love him. He's my comfort character.
I really wish that
I
people
read
wouldn't
the
have
extended
anthrax.
lore. You don't even know about his backstory.
It's
Yeah,
really
fine.
upsets me when people have anthrax because he is my comfort character, and sometimes I feel like people don't treat him right when they have him in their own body.
Anthrax is suicidal, and you can't say bad things about him. He was bullied in high school. God.
Anyway,
I've
on
been-
that note,
I've been on TikTok too much. I know what's going on.
Hello,
God,
welcome to
TikTok.
No Nerds Allowed.
yeah, hi, my name's Jackson
Welcome.
McMurray.
My name is Adeline McMurray.
My name is Kezia Rhodes, and today we are joined by beloved guest Anna Maguire.
Hi, I'm Anna Maguire. I
Uh,
write a podcast.
yeah, plug your shit.
Hey.
I write and direct an SCP podcast called Find Us Alive. It's an original narrative podcast. If you're here, you probably have already heard about it. But if you're new, listen to my podcast. It's pretty good. Jackson's in it.
I am. I write music
Plays
also.
a character and he writes music in it.
Also
Yeah,
was the ghostwriter for Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
that
Doesn't
is
plug that all the time, but
true. I was 2
Yeah.
years old,
Mhm.
but a very prolific ghostwriter at the time.
true. Just a good vibration.
I have
Held
an
the pencil in
announcement.
both hands, like this.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a joke. I was gonna say I'm also on Find Us Alive, but just nobody knows that. Like, nobody knows that.
Yeah, see, I put Adeline's lines in, and I just
yet.
turned the volume all the way down, so she's there. You just can't hear her. Yeah.
Well, if you play,
honestly, I think I'm like the key component of it. I'm the glue that keeps it all together.
Mhm.
If you play an episode of Find Us Alive backwards, you will hear Adeline saying, "Turn me on, Deadman."
Yeah.
She's Batman.
But really, really quietly.
Allude to the fact that I murdered Jackson, as we've discussed many a time on the podcast.
Not Jackson's character, like Jackson in real life.
Jackson
in real life.
IRL.
Did you ever hear about that, Anna? There was a hot second where I was like really seriously considering faking my own death.
I was there for that original conversation.
Okay? Gotcha. Okay, got it.
It's really sincere.
I was very on board because I would be a quintessential part of that plan because I would need to publicly grieve you.
Yeah,
true.
Okay, I have an announcement. This is not going to mean much for audio listeners, but for video listeners, I just need to set the stage for this.
If
which
you're listening
is that
to the video.
I have decided. This is a very personal decision for me. I've decided to give a mustache the old college try. It's been a while. It's been a while since I gave the mustache the old college try. So, over the next 2 weeks, if it's bad, keep it to yourself. Okay? Just putting it out in the open. It's kind of bad right now.
This is the first time I am hearing of this.
Yeah, why do you need to hear about it? It's my body.
Oh,
Good point.
I'm pretty excited. That's exciting.
So that's just that.
Mustache.
We'll see. We might make it. We might not. I've been pretty challenged when it comes to facial hair most of my life, but maybe I'm at a point I can pull it off. I don't know. Only one way to find out.
Jackson, have you ever tried the full beard? Have you ever given that a shot?
Beard doesn't work. No, not a chance.
Beard doesn't work?
Not a
Do you
chance
want
in
to
hell.
try? I mean, if you're already trying with the mustache,
Yeah,
why
you
not
might
just
as
go
well.
full
No.
hog?
Full throttle, baby.
What it will look like.
Put
your
pedal
dad
to the
has-
metal.
Your dad has like a full beard though, right?
Yeah, I mean, my dad's always been able to grow facial hair. I don't know. Maybe I should ask him. Maybe I should ask him like when he started being able to grow a beard.
Do you have to just like
I'm getting hair
clench
on
up
my
really?
body. I don't
You have
understand.
to like push it out. You have to push
Right.
it out of your cheeks.
You have to
Yeah.
actively work on it.
I
Yep.
think that
Like
I mean, look,
mindfulness.
here's the truth, right? Like, this is what my mustache looks right now. This is like 6 days, okay? And it's like, you can kind of see it. There's like a little bit of something. It's not great. But, like, beard, if I, like, fully don't, it just looks like I have dirt on my face. Like, there are hairs there. There are hairs, like, all over. But they're individuals, right? It just looks
Maybe
like...
what?
You
If
could
you got
get
like you
surgery.
get that base,
Hair
you
plug
get like
surgery.
the light, like little bit of hair, but no, you get the hairspray that's supposed to make your beard darker.
Oh,
But if
Is
you
that-
just have like if you have the base of texture, so people would be like, "Hey, you have spray paint on your face," but when they touched it, they would
They would
feel the
feel it.
hairs.
Okay, here's
So
what
they're
I'll say.
working together.
How about this? We make it to 50
We're already
followers.
talking about how grody your mustache is gonna be.
We make it to 50 followers on Twitch. Here's the reward, okay? I buy some bootleg hair growing, beard growing product. See what happens.
You're gonna mess
Just
up
see
your
it.
steroid production in your body
You're
for clout.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
For clout.
you have pretty sensitive skin, so that's probably a very bad idea.
I will grow my beard out with you in solidarity. Here's my check-in for 24 years.
And
Okay.
there we
Got some
go.
pretty solid growth so far.
No, see,
Deep
I shave
conditioning,
daily.
Keisha?
I know. I've really been trying. I think it's the Asian, you know.
I have to
facial hair.
shave daily, or else my like big voluptuous beard would make Jackson jealous of me,
That's fair.
and I don't want to be resented for having a better mustache.
Well, it's also
That's
like,
the
you know,
only
you can
reason I
only
have one.
sing the like bearded lady song from what's the movie? This Is Me.
I could sing. I
Greatest
could sing
Showman?
any
Greatest
song
Showman.
I wanted if I
You
had
just
it.
real-
Like,
singing
me,
every
I'm
day.
exactly where I want to be now.
You just get so exhausted singing every day. It's just like it's not worth it to have this beard, be this bearded lady.
Prime is
I-
beard.
I would sing every song if I had a big, huge beard, because it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, you know what they
Yeah.
say.
I'd rock it.
It's not over till the bearded lady sings.
So, today on the show, we're talking about the newest Disney Plus original feature,
Moana.
The famous Italian film Moana. We're talking about LUCA. If you didn't know by the title of the stream, title of the podcast overlay, we're talking about LUCA, the newest Pixar joint. Here's my jumping off point. Okay, this is the first thing I want to say. Fucking sucks that they didn't put this in theaters.
Yeah.
Really does.
And I understand that, like, when they were making the decision, like, it was kind of in that before. We were in limbo then, where it was like, maybe it's just not worth it, but it would have been worth it if we had a time traveler. This is it's more proof that time travel is not real.
Any of our listeners who are a time traveler,
and I would tell them to put LUCA in theaters. I would do those two things.
Because, I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, animated movies especially are, like, one of the few kinds of movies that, like, I mean, I don't want to say few kinds of movies, but, like, are one of the movies that especially benefit from a theatrical experience, you know? Especially when it's, like, a Pixar movie where it's, like, part of the whole appeal of this thing is, like, how many, like, resources go into it, and the way that it looks, and the tiniest details in the animation are so, like, important. Like, seeing it in a big screen's important. Like, you know, it sucks that Soul got bumped to Disney Plus too, but, like, at that point, I was okay with it, you know? Felt normal. Felt like something that just had to happen. But, like,
it's also just nice to have something new at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, this is, like, we're doing this thing again. Like, the movies are back, baby. And, like, I think that, like, this absolutely could have just gone to theaters, and I honestly would have preferred if they did the $30 rental bullshit rather than just, like, put it on, you know, because I want to see it on the big screen.
There.
Well, I have to say that we have, like, proven almost basically completely that Disney needs to stop doing the fucking $30 paywall thing, because I have heard nobody talking about Raya and the Last Dragon. I heard nobody talking
Lindsay
about
Ellis
Mulan.
did.
Let's not.
She did, but everybody was talking about Soul immediately, and literally today, the day of, again, literally everybody is talking about LUCA. Like, if you want people to watch your movie, maybe don't put a $30 paywall behind it. Like,
no, it's totally, like, and I think it's a little bit different now because when they're doing it, it's in theaters, right? And I feel like 90% of the people who are talking about Cruella probably went to see it in theaters, because, hey, that costs $8.
Yeah.
and not
and
30.
Not 30. Yeah.
But, like, I think like, I don't know, I'm thinking a lot about the HBO Max thing lately, because, like, a lot of people are saying that that's why In the Heights isn't doing as great as people were hoping, is because it's on HBO Max for free. But, like, Godzilla vs. Kong did pretty well.
Yeah.
And everything else, I mean, the only other things they've really had have been, like, Mortal Kombat and Conjuring 3.
Mortal Kombat, which broke box office
records. And it's like, I don't think Mortal Kombat did that great, but I'm sure it did, like, fine. But, like, In the Heights is the first one, and I don't think Conjuring 3 did super great either, but I, you know, like I say, I think it did fine. And, like, In the Heights is currently doing, like, fine to kind of bad. Yeah. And, like, I'm really...
Despite Kezia's best efforts.
Right.
I really I've used a lot of money to watch In the Heights this weekend.
And because, you know, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not sure I actually believe that putting things on HBO for free deters people from seeing it in the theaters. Because I think people want to go to theaters. Yeah. But, and because I think Godzilla vs. Kong kind of proved that, you know? But, like, it's the thing, there's a particular experience that I really love about this day and date thing, which is, like, going to see a movie in theaters and seeing people memeing on it, like, opening day, you know? Like, getting home from the theaters and, you know, maybe you make a GIF yourself, maybe somebody else is doing it, but you see GIFs on social media of Scorpion and Sub-Zero doing their great thing and Godzilla on the aircraft carrier.
Excellent fatalities.
Those great fatalities. And, like, that's, like, on Twitter that day.
Yeah, people have already pirated all of LUCA onto TikTok already. Like, it's already in 27 parts on TikTok.
But it's like, that's an experience that absolutely never happened before the pandemic, right? It used to be like, oh, I saw this movie and there's a bunch of jokes I want to make about it online, but like, I can't get that footage and I don't know if anybody else has necessarily seen it yet, so I just type it out. I'm like, you guys know from Batman vs. Superman when he said this? That was really... What if instead he said, like, I don't know, it's not like a meme, you know, you can't really, there's like a virality to it that doesn't happen. And when the movie's like available to you, like right then, it's like a whole other like side of marketing, I feel like. And I just have to wonder like how that affects it and if that might be something that might be more normal going forward.
I do think it definitely depends on the type of movie as well, because like Godzilla vs. Kong, that's absolutely a theater movie. Godzilla movies have always been theater movies. Like, this is big and loud, and there's a big boy, and you want to see all of the big boy on the biggest screen possible. Like, that is what it's for. And, like, and even, like, Ninja Fight. What's the movie called?
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat.
No, it's called
Ninja
Ninja
Mortal
Fight.
Kombat is that
It's
same
Mortal
kind of
Kombat
thing.
Ninja Fight.
I thought it was Ninja Fight. Subtitle Mortal Kombat. Subtitle.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
The first one without Mortal Kombat.
The first we don't get to it in this one. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's like it's that same energy. It's a big action movie. It's fun. It's loud. You want to see it in the theater. I don't know if In the Heights is that same kind of movie. I feel like that's a movie that a bunch of theater kids want to watch in a basement together where they can be like loud and rowdy. Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are like fundamentally opposed to musicals.
Right.
Who like
exactly
are not going to want to see it in theaters like regardless of it.
Why do I still see that all over the place? In the year of our Lord 2021, why are like boring people like, it's a musical? I don't like musicals. Like, what? Why? It's just, it makes me uncomfortable when people openly express their emotions. Like,
well, I mean, I think it's the
I
thing.
just don't comprehend the mindset.
But I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing I was talking about. I guess you weren't there, Adeline, but when we were talking about it last week, like, one of the things about, I mean, it also applies to American animation. We could talk about that. Like, I talked about American animation and American Broadway musicals being like kind of exclusive in the sense that like they're the only like mediums that are really, really strongly pigeonholed into particular genres and genre conventions, you know? And like, so to say like, I don't like animated movies is like kind of fair, because there's a lot of really specific things that animated movies usually are, and you might not like it. It's like, that's cool. I mean, it's a little bit bullheaded of you to just like, you know,
dismiss everything.
Everything, but it's like, it would be a lot more astute of an observation than saying like, I don't like live action movies or whatever, because you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like action movies.
But like saying you don't like animated movies like kind of makes sense, because we all kind of know that animated movies are sort of pigeonholed.
You know
into
what you're
particular
talking
things.
about when you say that.
Jackson,
yeah.
What about Sausage Party, Jackson? The only adult animated movie that's ever been made. What about that one?
It's also like coming from a like American lens as well.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
No, this is something that your dad says and only your dad says.
I think that there are a lot of reasons why In the Heights like isn't doing as well as people thought it was going to. Like, all of the musical stuff, and then also like people have already been going to the movies again. Like, I remember the first time I went to a movie, I was like, I'll see anything. I'll do anything right now. I'm so excited to go.
I'm kind of still
which we
there.
talked about. Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, same.
I'm thinking about seeing The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard this weekend. That's how deep I am in this.
The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Not Spirit Rides Again?
No.
Which, can I just say one thing about Spirit Rides Again? Is
it
that
looks so fucking bad.
Why?
It looks so bad.
The original Spirit is like beautiful.
About colonialism is about colonialism.
But also like
about the Native Americans.
Why does it not look good?
Yeah, like it's a DreamWorks movie.
Like it was made by Cocomelon.
Like,
yeah.
Like literally, why could they not have just made it a different horse?
Yeah, or like even that,
the
like,
whole
I don't know.
point of Spirit is that he like does not vibe with people.
Yeah, he's a horse.
I think that is a fundamental. I always say that DreamWorks is one of my least favorite animation studios, and it is because they pigeonholed themselves into only doing sequels. They will have an original movie that is awesome, and then they'll just do fucking sequel after sequel after sequel until they kick it dead and they cannot make money off of it anymore. So I think that's what they're trying to do with Spirit, where people recognize Spirit. So we're gonna have 12
can't wait for
Spirit
the
animated
sequel
movies until they're not good anymore.
Right.
Like, they're fucking doing Shrek again, and I love Shrek. Like, the first 2 Shrek movies I think are genuinely awesome movies. But, like, there's, like, 7 Madagascar movies for fucking no reason. For no reason. It's because DreamWorks just wants that money, and they're gonna squeeze it until it's dead.
Have you heard John Green's review of Penguins of Madagascar? Because it's actually pretty good.
I've heard people kind of like that movie, though. I've heard that's like actually, a hidden gem.
They have, like, a pretty good take on, like, how the way humanity, like, cares about nature is only if it is beneficial to them. Like, we only care about penguins because they're cute to us. And the villain of the movie is an octopus who's, like, he's inventing like a machine that makes cute animals ugly so that humans care about ugly animals too.
Right.
And then you're kind of like, excellent point, actually, Penguins of Madagascar.
Excellent point, evil
like,
octopus. Yeah.
Anyway, screw you, you ugly
not
animals.
To say that, like, not to say, like, I don't know. I want to backtrack a little, not to, like, shit on those movies. It's like, if you fucking love Shrek 3, go off. I don't love that movie, but if you love that movie, like, that's whatever.
No one loves Shrek 3.
Really dismissive way to frame that.
It is. But you just came into defending of one of these movies, and I'm saying is, from the mindset of the studio, is people like Madagascar, we're gonna make 5 of them because 5-year-olds will go see it, and we will make money because their parents recognize Madagascar. And so I think that's the same thing with Spirit. Like, it's weirdly not even a nostalgia thing. Like, I feel like that's a part of the Toy Story, like, making more Toy Stories, is that, like, oh, people see it because it's from their childhood.
So it was a TV show. Like, it has been a TV show on
which
Netflix.
People had a problem with when it was a TV show. And the animation looks the same as when it was a shitty animated Netflix TV show. Like, it's just bad from all sides. It's just fucking bad.
You know what was actually...
Go ahead.
Just to put in one last word about like children's movies. So I spent the last year working in like a daycare / preschool. So I've seen a lot of very, very bad movies. But one of the most like validating things ever was that kids still fucking love Spy Kids.
Oh,
like, it is so good. And like,
Spy Kids is a good movie.
I was like, I don't know if they're gonna like this because it like does feel very like early 2000s, and they don't vibe with that a lot of the time. But we watched it like 5 times in 1 week because they just like kept asking for it, and I'm like, yes, you have good taste. It's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's better than We Can Be Heroes. That's for sure.
I never said that We Could Be Heroes is better than Spy Kids.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
What is that?
No, it was Shark Boy and Lava Girl or something.
It was the Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel on Netflix, which I thought was pretty good. And I said I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was not as good as Spy Kids.
The kids of today still appreciate Spy Kids. Is what my point was.
I don't think I ever said it was better than Spy Kids.
I don't remember what our fight was.
If I said it was better than Spy Kids, it was probably just because I was trying to make you angry.
Gaslighting you.
You did. I will. This is the hill I will die on. Is the Spy Kids hill.
Here's something we need to talk about on this podcast. This is something that we've been kicking around back and forth. Well, the movie LUCA eventually, but first this.
We'll get there.
Do we want to do?
5.
Shut up. Do we want to do Boss Baby 2 on the podcast?
No.
I want to
I do
very
want to talk
badly.
about Boss Baby. I have wanted to talk about Boss
week
Baby because I genuinely think it's a crazy film.
It comes out next week.
Anna, come back.
It comes out when?
Boss Baby 2 comes out 1 week from today.
Oh, I'm gonna be out of town then. Can't do it. Can't come. Won't be there.
Oh no, wait. Sorry, not 1 week from today. First week of July, which is when we have the Avatar.
I'm gonna be out of town then. I can't.
But I don't think that's one we need to cover. I don't think that's one that we need to really strike when the iron is hot about.
Yeah.
Like, because the next week after that's Black Widow. Maybe we hit Boss Baby 2 after that. We don't do just like
Black Widow.
We don't do movies we can just dunk on enough. I think this would be healthy for us.
Well, if you did Black Widow and Boss Baby 2 back to back, you could have 2 different types of bosses.
It's true. The Boss Cinematic Universe.
The Boss Baby. Girl Boss.
What about Boss by Fifth Harmony?
I mean, the Boss Baby 2 is about a girl boss.
Wait a minute. But
every day is
in Boss Baby, which I have not seen.
I have.
Isn't the whole thing that like the baby is like lying to the parents about being really intelligent?
No, all the babies are.
All the babies are. They're technically gaslighting.
Yes.
So you can have girl boss and gaslight, and then you just need one for gatekeep, and you'll have all three.
Which is what Spirit 2 Spirit Rides Again is about.
No, hold on.
Anna, you were on another level. And have gatekeep.
No, so here's the thing. So Jackson, you're wrong about the Boss Baby lore. First of all,
I can't believe
the Boss Baby. It's not that all the babies are intelligent. You are either a smart baby for business, or you're a dumbass baby that goes down and gets to have a happy family. So the thing is that there's a bunch of boss babies, which are the intelligent babies, which get sent down to Earth from heaven or whatever the fuck it is to complete the task of like stopping the bad guys. So the babies, there's like the group of babies in the neighborhood, and those are all
so it's a guy, alpha babies that are like in charge of the other babies.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's
so the bad
babies.
Guy. No, so this is the gatekeep part.
Sigma
so the
babies.
bad guy is somebody. So after you like are done, like when you're a boss baby and you fuck up really badly, the way they demote you is they like send you down to be a regular baby. So the villain used to be a boss baby, became a regular baby, and then grew up into an old man, and then as an old man realized that he used to be a boss baby. And then when he does,
past humans been boss babies then?
Wait, so
does that mean only some of them?
Babies grow into humans. Like why would
so if you are wait,
no, they're all humans. They're all humans. Just
Adeline,
some of them are smart enough to be boss babies. Yes,
Adeline.
Anna.
So if you are a demoted boss baby and you go down to Earth to be punished to be like with a human family, and if this guy doesn't like he's remembering that he was a boss baby. Like, the boss babies have, like, full adult intelligence, right?
Yes.
So they have to basically, like, do they
kill them?
Do they have to go through, like, a horrifying process of, like, losing their memory of, like, having
like
adult,
a Flowers for
like,
Algernon situation?
So what it is that the babies have to keep drinking like this special serum that keeps them smart.
Right.
And if they don't do that, then they become regular babies. So they just cut off his supply, basically.
So that's horrifying.
So the reason that as an adult that he remembers is that he sucks on a pacifier, and that's like what triggers it or whatever. But so what he's trying to do, I've been trying to get to the part of the thing that I actually wanted to say for like 20 minutes. But the thing, what he's
Island boss baby,
he's gatekeeping cuteness because he wants no one to have any babies anymore because he's just bitter about it or something. I guess.
Remember that. Yeah.
So he's making super cute puppies so that nobody will want a baby anymore, and puppies will be the cutest, just out of spite.
Because people have babies because they're cute. That's the whole.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Kind of like penguins in Madagascar.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. We have it.
So you have all three. Well, I mean, isn't the second one about like the girl boss baby?
Yeah, it is.
So
it's
the
girl
second
boss
one,
baby.
would have all three. Because it'd have the girl boss, the gaslighting,
have you not
the
seen?
gatekeeping.
Have you not seen that trailer, Kezia, where Amy Sedaris is the girl boss baby who calls them both boomers?
It's Amy Sedaris. Oh my god, I still don't want to watch it.
So what I have seen is that this is a sequel. So both, because at the end of the original Boss Baby, it's been like the story. It's been the dad who is the main character telling the story to his daughter, and then we see them both grown up later, and it's like, oh, that's cute. But so then the sequel is that they are adults, and then they are somehow going to be turned back into children.
Yeah, they turn back into boss babies.
Into babies.
Okay, let me just say, if you're gonna do the. What, Anna?
I know we're not supposed to like talk to chat because this is going to be a podcast episode.
No, we can talk to chat.
They are being very, very funny right now.
Yeah, Shutter Island Boss Baby adaptation is a good string of words.
It's trailer for Old, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Okay, but wait.
I'm excited about that.
Here's something. If we're gonna do Girl Boss Baby,
Hitchcock, the Boss Baby.
The boss babies should go to that island.
If they had made Tina Fey the girl boss baby, I would have been like butts in seats day one. That would have been a perfect marketing move. I would have been like,
boss babies do for business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of business do they do?
You know, they're gonna do that weird animation movie thing where they're gonna like simultaneously try to be like, we're with you, Gen Z, but at the same time be making fun of Gen Z. So they're gonna try to actually make a weird feminist statement, but it's gonna be destroyed by the fact that they're talking about a girl boss, full stop.
The old emoji movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the emoji movie. It's gonna be Scoob. They're gonna try to say something, and by saying nothing, they're gonna try to say something. And
remember when they made Scoob and they made Scooby-Doo speak in like full, complete, coherent sentences?
Just a regular talking voice.
God,
yeah.
I hate
Remember
Scoob
when they fucking made Scoob, and the judge from American Idol was there for fucking no reason?
That's one of our better episodes.
Showed the fuck up.
Wait,
like
no,
it was fucking Shrek 2.
Simon Cowell, like, not as an actor, like, showed up.
No.
Yeah.
As like
there's like a bit where they're like, Simon Cowell, like it's like a pop culture reference.
Oh no.
It's like a whole extended bit. It's horrible.
It's like
the worst.
No one has cared about Simon Cowell for like 10 years.
No, Scoob is like sincerely one of my.
He invented One Direction.
Scoob is like sincerely one of my least favorite movies in like the last 5 years.
This is a Scoob hate account.
I hate Scoob. Scoob.
Me and all my homies hate Scoob.
It's so funny. It's like the longest we've gone for a really long time. It's not
happened.
Especially about the movie.
This is how you know.
Woo Jumbo posits that what if the boss babies sold drugs?
We go.
Yeah,
Drug boss baby.
Here are my thoughts on Boss Baby. Is I think that Elon Musk was probably a boss baby, right?
Yeah, of course he was.
No. Elon Musk was one of the drooling Neanderthal idiot babies, but he really, really wants you to think that he was a boss baby, but he just stole the ideas from other boss babies.
He was a demoted baby.
No, he's being
he was never there.
by a boss baby to look like a person who was a boss baby.
And he never was a boss baby.
Also, what do the boss babies do? What is their business? They just are in suits.
Government, Kezia, wake up.
What? That didn't come up.
I don't actually know what the babies do.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's clear.
Boss babies do.
Like, we're doing business. We're boss.
I mean, yes, that's basically what it is. They're like, we're doing.
Is they're like in charge of like assigning babies to the family that they're born to?
Something
is that?
Like that? I think that's just Storks, though. I think that's a different movie, which was actually pretty good, if I remember.
I mean, are they not just like the same concept? Basically, it's about.
They're kind of the same concept. Storks is cuter and a little bit more animated, and you could tell somebody gave just a little bit more of a shit when they were making Storks.
Kind of gave a shit about Boss Baby.
What's the one
Some
with
people
the?
did give a little bit of a shit about Boss Baby.
Speaking of giving shit about anime,
baby.
Ice Age.
What?
I know, I'm just kidding. I was just as an Ice Age goof.
We should
sister
talk
just
about
yelled Ice Age
LUCA.
from the other room, just so
Speaking of young boys in the water.
Speaking of young ice boys.
Speaking of dropping your kids off.
There's no ice in this movie.
So LUCA, a Disney Plus original flick, is. So here. I mean, I really like the movie. I think it's one of those
wonderful movie.
I think it's one of those Pixar movies that, like, I mean, I feel like we say this every time we cover a Pixar movie, where we're just like, yeah, it was really good, but it feels kind of weighted down by the expectations of how awesome Pixar movies can be.
That people pun it.
That you're just kind of like, that was like a mid-tier Pixar movie. It's like, that's better than most movies.
I think, honestly, though, it's one of my favorites to look at that they've made in, like, a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like...
I think...
beautiful to look at.
Here is my hot take, because here's the thing. The fact that we've talked about something else for 45 minutes tells you that this is a really good movie, but to the point that we don't really have a lot to say of it, and we will have our big takes, and then we will be out of things to say, because it's genuinely just a really good movie.
I have some things to say.
Keisha has some things to say, but my big take is I think that this movie is very much in the vein of Soul and Coco and Wander. What's that movie called?
Onward.
Is it Wander?
Wander?
Onward.
Got it. One.
Onward.
You gotta fucking
Onward.
stop bringing up every time I forget a word, because we will be here for 9 hours if you do it every single time. If we take 5 minutes to talk about every time I forget a word, we're gonna be here for 9 hours.
I just didn't know. I was like, what movie is? I have Wonder, the one with Jacob Tremblay who plays Luca. So I got.
There we go.
That's the confusion.
My point being, and it's like Onward,
whatever.
Like it's all those movies where they're
That's
very.
what I said,
They're very chill. Like it feels like this kind of. It doesn't feel like boom, 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 plot point, plot point, plot point. Like it feels like we're telling the story. It's a little bit smoother.
It's the meanders around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. We're meandering a little bit. It's really nice. I feel like Pixar as a whole is like really getting away from villains, which I think is an excellent decision, and I think it's really improving their movies. Because like obviously Luca, there is the villain, there's the
Antagonistic
kid.
villain kid, yeah.
Yeah, but he's not like a big bad. He's just like a shitty kid, and he's in
like
their way.
Medium.
He serves a purpose.
Medium Mia.
Ron Sea Monster Hunter, and I'm gonna kill all the sea monsters.
Exactly. Like I feel like the last like big Coco or the big Pixar villain was really in Coco with Ernesto de la Cruz. So much of that movie happens, and so much of that movie is about stuff other than Ernesto de la Cruz being the bad guy till like way later in the film. It really feels like we're making this transition into this kind of meandering storytelling that just like it has antagonists, of course, but doesn't have like a big bad villain. And I really like it. Honestly, this movie does have a lot of just like a little bit of like Ghibli vibes, especially with like the credits, like how much storytelling just like happens in the credits, like just for fun, and like the colors. And of course it's got Ponyo vibes because we're in the ocean, and it's vaguely reminiscent of The Little Mermaid because of course. Yeah. Like it's a really nice way of storytelling that I think I'm glad that Pixar's doing this. I know that people are going to be like, this doesn't feel like a Pixar film, but it absolutely feels like a Pixar film. It just feels like this new direction that Pixar seems to be going in.
It doesn't seem like a 2009 Pixar film.
Right. I mean, it's exactly what I'm talking about, what I talked about Soul. You know, you guys all dogpiled on me, just beat the fucking shit out of me, just left me in a fucking coffin. When I said that, like, I didn't like how, like, over-animated Soul was, and I didn't like how, like, brutally realistic all the textures on it were. And, like, you just fucking killed me. Like, stab me right between the ribs.
I'm about to kill you again.
No, I agree.
Agreed.
I think over-texturing models is a choice I don't really like.
And it's, like, a combination of that and the way it's animated, where it's, like, very naturalistic, very much trying to, like, you know, imitate the way things move in reality. They're trying to, like, mimic reality as close as they possibly can. And this is the first time I can see them, like, knowing, like conscientiously trying to take a step back from that. Like, not only do the people look different, do the people look more stylized, but you know, they've still got beautiful, gorgeous, lush textures, but, like, the way people move is different. Like, people are a lot stiller in this movie than they are
that
in,
scene
Soul.
where he's learning how to walk, and he just like instinctually wiggles is so sweet.
Yeah. So funny.
It's like swimming, but like vertical, and like okay.
He just like does this.
Yeah. Favorite thing
wiggles. It's great.
One of my favorite things in this movie is how saturated the colors are and how bright the lighting is. Because like especially in like his little dream sequences, like some of the characters would be like straight up washed out because they're so like bright.
Right.
But it would just like add to like the sort of dreamy feel and like the immersion, and all the colors were so like bright all the time. It was just like nice to look at.
I feel like there has been a weird, and I think that this is something that Pixar's going away from again. It feels like there was such a big distinction between the aesthetics of like the Pixar movies and then the aesthetics of the Pixar shorts. Because the shorts would just be crazy and beautiful and doing whatever the fuck they wanted with animation. And they were just these beautiful little showcases of storytelling and animation style and all that stuff. And then the movies were, of course, great and amazing, but very like punchy and more like quick and kind of like fast-paced and like a movie.
But very much visually homogenous, you know, like they all kind of look and feel the same.
Exactly. So I feel like, and I said this about Soul too, where it felt like a Pixar animated short film that they made to be full length because they got so kind of crazy with the animation styles that they were doing. I feel Luca feels like the exact same way. Like this feels like the French film, The Little Star Prince, like especially when they stars and all that stuff.
It's the same director, creator, animator.
Then
him.
That's why it feels like that.
The Little Prince.
Like
that's
it so much feels like that, like exploration of like color and saturation and shape that makes it feel like the shorts, where it felt like they like got the freedom to kind of go crazy with the animation, and now it feels like Pixar is letting the main movies that they go out have that same kind of freedom to get a little weird with it, and I really like it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about The Little Prince, the Netflix movie.
Yeah. I think that this movie, within the first, like, 2 or 3 minutes,
Can you guys hear me?
really captured, because my whole pitch is that it feels like a Pixar movie to me if they have concepts that are, like, a little harder to grasp for, like, 8 to 13-year-old people. I think that's usually, like, what feels right for a Pixar movie for me. And this movie, I think that really quickly, like, you see it's about how, like, the childhood capacity for curiosity and compassion are just, like, insurmountable and worth following. Like, you see, like, his curious nature, and then also, like, empathy for something that is unknown is what leads and directs this movie. And I think that's awesome, especially in, like, a weird climate where people still, you know, politically, we're struggling, but it's just like you can, but like within the first couple of minutes, I was like, this is a movie about curiosity, and then and 2 minutes later, his mom was like, you need to, like, stop being so curious, and you're like, oh, like they nailed it before they even said it.
I think that like
people were kind
movie... I want to go.
You're good.
Okay, I feel like this movie kind of has that magic Toy Story thing, where it's like, this movie isn't, like, about one particular thing. It's about, like, we've created this situation that speaks to any number of experiences, you know? And we're engaging with, like, all these different things, and, like, you know, it's not, like, ignoring or, like, accidentally, but it's just, like, very broadly representative of a lot of different things, in the same way that Toy Story is, you know? Like, you can look at Toy Story and you can say, like, or any of them, like,
I guess it's fair,
you can look at Toy Story and be like, oh, it's, you know, it's sort of speaking about, like, fatherhood and, like, giving up your child, or you can say, like, oh, it's kind of more about brotherhood, or, like, you could equate it to, like, romantic relationships sometimes, and, like, there are all these ideas and, like, different ways that you can interpret it. It's very elastic in its meaning, you know? And, like, I think that this movie has kind of the same thing, where it's like, you know, when this trailer came out, everybody was like, oh, this is Call Me By Your Name, you know? And, like, there's
kind of had those vibes, though.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about it. I was trying to, like, give it a queer reading as I was watching it. I was, like, thinking about that like line of things. And it doesn't fully read as, like, a queer story, but it also doesn't not, because it's like, you know, if you try to, like, interpret it literally and think of it as, like, this is, like, a queer story, it would be like, so it's like, okay, like, the big thing is, like, you know, you're living in this area that just feels, like, inherently hostile to, like, who you are and what you are, and it just feels like you're, like, keeping the secret all the time, and there are just these things that you have to try to not do lest you feel like people, like, find out, and it feels like it's a danger to yourself, you know? And it's like, you know, and of course it's, like, about these two little boys, and it's, like, about this, like, relationship they build together, and you're like, that is something that is absolutely speaking to, like, not even just queerness, but, like, any number of experiences of, like, people, like, living in an area that just feels, like, inherently restrictive and hostile and dangerous to them, even though they're not necessarily
doing anything wrong.
Yeah. And, but then if you, like, try to break it down, you're like, but then it's, like, the parents are also queer, I guess? Or, like, the parents don't want them to go there, but they want to go there, and you're like, well, but wait, like, what is this? This doesn't really quite work out. But it's like, it speaks to that while also, like, being about different things, and it has just, like, different ideas floating around in it that are, like, representative of different things, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like, I mean, it's obviously not designed to be, like, a one-to-one allegory for, like, queer identity, but one of the things that I picked up on was different ways that your family can, like, react to you being queer in ways that are, like, damaging. Because, like, on the one hand, there's, you know, you get kicked out of the house and it's like, goodbye, you're on your own, like, side of things. But then you also have, like, parents who are like, no, you can't be trans because it's going to make your life really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our non-binary roommate had a lot of really hard conversations with their mom, who's just really worried about like how the world is going to treat them, and like doesn't want them to be trans because they're worried that they're going to like get abused by people.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's not a good way to act, but it's like out of like love in sort of a skewed kind of way. And I read that a lot into like the way that Luca's parents sort of acted with finding out that he's like on the surface, is it's like not necessarily like the most healthy way to react to things, but it's like coming from a place of like being worried about their kid.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you, Jackson, that like, yeah, there's obviously not one thing that this story is about. I think it's about a lot of different things, but I think the two big ones that I got were honestly that queer allegory, and this was the one at the very end that they really hammer in the idea that like there's been so many people have like touched on this artistically, but the fact that like the relationships that you make and the people that you love and the people that you let into your life kind of leave a stain on you forever, and they become woven into who you are, that even when those relationships end, even when you don't see that person again, that relationship and your love for them is always kind of there, just in who you are, which I think is beautiful. I was fucking crying at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because Disney has had a lot of problems with queer representation. And of course Pixar isn't fully Disney, but is still a part of the whole big corporate, all that stuff, of all the complications with that.
The umbrella.
And yeah, did they come out and say that it was not a queer story, or did they just say like, oh, they're just friends, or did they kind of
No, I mean, I was looking into this. There was a the director had this statement where he basically said like, we really explicitly like, it's not even like, no, of course they're not gay. It's like we really explicitly, like, between all these characters, like you could also read like Julia and Luca. Luca.
The tits
like
Luca
having a relationship, and if you want to think about all these things strictly romantically, it's like, oh, there's like tension or whatever. But he says like, we really explicitly didn't want it to be about that. We didn't want it to be about romantic relationships. We wanted it to be about casual platonic relationships you make with people and like deep friendships. And like,
well, I think that's the thing, is that you can tell like it's a love story. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic love story, but like Luca and Alberto love each other. I'm like, and Julia's father like loves Alberto and like goes and looks out for him. Like he's like, well, I think we should look for him just in case. Like that. They're never like, oh, you're like my dad. Like they're never explicit about it, but it's very clear that like they, even like Alberto, like at the end, like obviously like loves Julieta.
Well, it's just Julia. Yeah,
Julia.
But like he cares for her now. Like it doesn't matter. They don't define any of the relationships, but like this is a story about learning to love people, and I think that's. I'm really excited that they're not like.
I think one of the unique like things that ties into the queer allegory with the two boys is like, even like viewed through a like platonic lens, like sometimes if you're like a young gay kid and you find one other young gay kid, like even if you're not like in a relationship, you probably feel really tied to that person because they're the only one like you that you like have access to.
It reminded me of Moonlight in a lot in that way. The first act of Moonlight, it sort of plays similarly in just exactly that way you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say, is that the way that I read this movie was absolutely that, like, I mean, Luca and Roberto are both gay. They're both gay kids. Like, that's obvious. I totally think that's the reading. But then to say that they romantically are together, romantically have feelings for each other, I think that's what's up in the air. I truly believe that this could, like, just this platonic, wonderful friendship between two gay children, I think is totally the thing. Because, like, I've seen a lot of good takes about gay representation and being like, if you have to make a tweet that says this character is gay, then that character is not gay, because it should just be in the media in itself. And if it's not, if you can't see that reading in the media in itself and you have to go like outside of it to get that reading, then it's not a good reading.
Very, very death of the author, yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that this is that kind of gray area of that, though, because it is specifically like children characters in a children's medium, that like that romantic aspect of it could quote unquote like just not be there because they're children. Like if Julia and Luca kissed at the end of it, I'd be like, that was fucking weird. Not because it was straight, but because it would be weird to watch 2 8-year-olds kiss, you know? Like
like in Ponyo.
Like in Ponyo. Like, well, do you ever like Mr. Peabody?
Because like little like 4-year-old kids, like I had like a little like 4-year-old kiss when I was like a little tiny kid. And that's like, that has like a different sort of connotation than like a romantic.
Yeah. Well, but have you ever watched Mr. Peabody and Sherman? That movie's
like the
weird.
Original one?
No, like the new 3D animated one. It's got the weirdest 8-year-old kiss at the end of it that feels really inappropriate. Like it's
right.
It's just not the vibe. It feels like making these children be in a relationship way more than they should be at the age that they're at, you know? It just feels weird. And that's why I say what I like about it so much, is that it totally feels like a platonic story, but at the same time I do truly believe that this is excellent queer representation. And I think that the anger comes from how Disney has handled other representation, and then this like just piled onto it, that we haven't had like this person is queer and the stories about them being queer, because we have so many romance movies or romance like directed movies. So like this is about this person and their relationship and they're straight, and we just have like nothing for that for queer people from mainstream media. And so I'm kind of afraid that the movie's gonna get torn apart because they're not explicitly gay, even though I think it is very much a queer story and about being queer, you know? Like, especially, like, the ladies, the way the grandma is totally written as, like, the way that the family and the grandma interact, that anytime he wants to talk about the surface at all, they're like, we don't talk about that, you can't bring that up, you can't ask that question. Totally makes me think of a kid being like, what, why do 2 men marry each other? And they're like, no, you can't bring that up, you can't ask those questions, shut the fuck up. Even though the grandma could have, like, we want to erase it, even though it's a thing from our past, that our grandparents and great-grandparents and the people before that, it's always been a thing. There's always been queer people, but we don't want to talk about it, and we're trying to erase it. So that's absolutely where I think that reading comes from. And, like, even just, like, the 2 old ladies that are secretly fish people in the like village, like I think it's so queerly, of course the metaphor falls apart just a little bit with the parents, but I think it also, like, I mean, the metaphor falls a little apart with Zootopia too, with like racism and stuff like that. I think these are very complex
with
like
Zootopia.
yeah, like we're doing very complex ideas that we're trying to fit into a metaphor, and the metaphor falls apart sometimes, but I think as a whole, I think it's very obviously a queer metaphor. Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think that like I think those are all. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I mean, my take is that it's like Toy Story, like I said before, but I think it's about more things than just that, you know? Because I think that like this is something that can extend to so many other circumstances and scenarios. Because
absolutely,
you know, one of the things I think about is like. So it's like, you know, when they're on land, the thing is that they're fish people, right? But it's like their whole deal is fish people, like down where they used to be, and they're weirdly feel like why would the parents also be like queer, and like why do they like want to go, like it's like it doesn't like fully like totally hold up there, but I think that like it also speaks to just like the generalized, you know, the Little Mermaid thing. I had a big galaxy brain take on Little Mermaid a little while ago on the Discord, but like, you know, just that thing about like how like when kids are like exploring, when kids like want to do new things, sometimes it has to do with sexuality, sometimes it has to do with, you know, just like getting out in the world and seeing things and having relationships,
starting to
people.
Become a person.
Yeah, starting to become an adult, starting to have agency for yourself. Like the most obvious example, like when you think about Little Mermaid, is like sexuality, right? It's like this girl is like, I'm interested in sex, and I think I want it, and like this is something that I'm trying to do, and your dad's like, no, fuck, like stay, like don't talk about it. And then like she goes out and does it anyway and gets into trouble. Like bad things happen because she wasn't like, you know, properly socialized, properly educated about these things, and she like bad things happen, and it ends up like working out, but it's like a close call, and King Triton is like, oh man, I probably should have just.
I'm a bad parent.
I probably should have just talked to my daughter about it. And I think it's very much that thing in this movie too, you know, or like even Rapunzel, like about like sheltering a kid, and like I think that. I mean, like I said, it's just a circumstance. It's a circumstance that they just let speak to whatever it speaks to, and that's what I think is
yeah. I think like allegorically, it can reach to a lot of things. Like, I think there are queer undertones, especially like, and not even just like transformatively and like we're hiding wise, but also it's just like it is a relationship between two like young boys that ends in love, like the end result is love, and be it like brotherly, friendly, or like romantically, I don't think that necessarily matters to this story, because I do think that overall like fear versus like a curious, compassionate nature is mostly like what this is dealing in.
Right.
Because I like what I saw a lot in this is like, as a person of color, like the fear of assimilating into a culture and like being like kicked out or like feared or hurt or worse, like that felt really real to me. Like, but also, you know, like that's the beauty of this, is that it is like Jackson, you're saying, like it's larger than just like one thing.
It's a concept that a lot of people can connect to.
I was gonna say, but then like the thing at the end is like it kind of has that fucking Hotel Transylvania thing, where it's just like, turns out it didn't even matter all along. Like it was just in your imagination, I guess. Like they're actually nice. They just seemed like they weren't. You were keeping it a secret. It's like, I don't know.
The difference between this and Hotel Transylvania is that in Hotel Transylvania they murdered his wife, and then they were like, "Oh, it's actually okay." But in this one, it was like it could have possibly been okay.
I don't know. Like I don't think
fish people. I don't know.
I don't think that's true. I'm sure that they're like at the beginning, you see like Alberto almost get killed by fishermen. Like I think that there's like rooted fear from both ends. Like you're scared of what you don't know, but it's easier to empathize with someone that you already cared about.
Yeah, and like, I didn't read it as like, oh no, they're actually just all chill with sea monsters now. Because they didn't have that whole scene where like the parents were like, there are still going to be people that are like freaked out by this and who aren't going to like you. And like it seemed like the reason that they were like okay with it is because like they're children and like they act like children, and it's hard to like point a fucking harpoon at a little kid.
Yeah.
It's also children that they had known. Like if they had seen these like sea monster children, they were like, that's a monster. But once you're like, oh, this is somebody that I know and I care about and I ate pesto pasta with, like then it's like, no, this is my like beloved friend. Then
comes from that like love of the community too, where it's like the reason the fishermen don't kill them is because Julia's dad is like, hey, fuck off, I'll fuck you up if you try to kill these children.
Yeah,
I love Julia's dad.
Amazing. I love him.
He was
so
like
much.
Flint Lockwood's dad.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah. He talked more though. I liked him.
I love that his arm was just like he was just born like that. Like that was like such a
cute. He's like, what happened? What happened to your arm? Because he's like, oh, was it a fishing accident? And he's like, sea monster, JK, you know, I was born like this.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, especially because the scene where you realize that those two old ladies were actually fish people the whole time, is that you see the other old ladies, like, go to the police officer and, like, rip up the wanted poster. Like, it comes from, like, of the community, like, realizing, like, oh, the people that I've loved this whole time were that, so I'm not gonna be...
It changes my perception of, like, this type of people.
I'm not gonna kill them with a harpoon now. Yeah, exactly. It makes them like other people because they realize the people in their community were also like that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we just disagree. To me, it just reads metaphorically like, oh, if you live somewhere and you feel like oppressed and scared all the time, maybe it's just in your imagination. You know, it kind of just reads a little bit more to me like,
I
don't think it's not actually real, but maybe we just disagree.
That's not how I got it. I got like, it is a lot harder to hate someone when you know them.
But I do love that all these kids are entering in a competition where you eat a big plate of pasta and then bike like 3 miles.
Bike up a mountain.
Italian.
You got a carbo load.
Fun of her for throwing up.
Bike, which is very close to a triathlon, which is biking, running, and swimming.
Almost.
But the Italian version of running is eating spaghetti.
Like 3,000 calories of starch before you do it.
Yeah.
Because at first, when they're like, Julia throwing up all over again, like she's like, they made me stop. I wanted to keep going. I was like, wow, like she was going really hard. And they're like, second event, eat 17 pounds of spaghetti. And I was like, okay. Sure.
Only one that's ever thrown up? Are you kidding me?
I loved the cat so much.
Oh, yeah.
The cat that looks like
that was so funny.
Cat that keeps trying to kill everybody, yeah.
I was like worried that it was gonna be like, you know, the annoying animal sidekick. But then it was just there to like make that funny cat growling noise and like have goofy facial expressions, and it was just so good.
It was the perfect amount of funny animal. Like they nailed it. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I do think obviously the metaphor works for any type of masking that any person does, whether it's like because you're neurotypical or because you're queer or because you're trying to blend into another cultural group or because for literally any reason that you kind of like put up a facade to like be normal, quote unquote. Like obviously it totally works for all that. But I also do think that there is definitely a neurodivergent reading, especially for Julia and for Luca, like the way that they like I was just looking at like Julia, like specifically like the way that she like moves and she like is so excited about things and she's loud and she's like, my mom tells me I'm loud and stuff like that. And like just like especially Luca, who like is pretty much like is I can't remember what it's called for. It's where you daydream constantly. What's it called?
Maladaptive daydreaming.
Maladaptive daydreaming. Yeah, like that's what he's doing, and like he gets so excited about the learning and all that stuff, and like the way that like Julia like moves and flops around and is loud and happy. Like I totally think there is definitely like a neurodivergent reading to this as well, which I think is a really cool one. I really liked it.
Sick.
Yeah. Well, but I was just bringing up the dad again, because like he just doesn't have an arm, and we're like, yeah, he doesn't have an arm. That's
like all neurodivergent really people.
And he makes great pasta.
Yeah.
What?
I'm still just
all
thinking,
neurodivergent people are missing an arm. That's how you can tell.
It's a symptom.
It's just...
No, I was talking about disability. You know what I mean.
I'm still just thinking about like, at least they made him eat the pasta after the swimming. Like they did cut him at least one break, which was
they didn't want them to die.
You don't have to do pasta then swim then bike. They cut you a break and gave you the swimming first.
Because if you eat, you have to wait 30 minutes or you'll drown.
Right, or you'll drown. You'll die every time.
You'll drown.
Yeah.
You'll get eaten by leeches.
That's what I was gonna say. You'll get eaten by the lacrimose leeches.
It's true. It's true. I really do appreciate, like, you can tell that this movie is like a love letter to a culture and like a country. Like I think that you can always tell when someone is really excited and happy and like just loves who they are, and that really reads even to like when you don't have to explain everything, when they're like they like Vespas because it's Italy and Italian, and they say Silenzio Bruno because that's Italian for silence, Bruno. Like you don't have to explain everything. Like we will understand. Like you don't like it's like in the Heights. You don't need to understand everything to comprehend what the point is, and I really appreciate that. Really like that.
One of the exchanges that like caught my eye, as like pertaining to that, was when when Julia is doing like the fish deliveries. And she opens the door and just like yells something at the lady, and then just like shoves the fish in her hand and runs away. Like they open the door and just both of them just like yelled at each other for a second, and then like parted ways. And that was just a really good bit.
Well, it's that little interconnection is that the lady opens the door, goes like hi, and like interrupts her, has this little spiel that she goes through all the way through, and then throws the fish at her and runs away. It's really good.
I think that, like, just thinking about this movie, like, big picture, like, the last thing I really wanted to say was, like, I'm still kind of chewing on the fact that they did, like, split them up at the end, you know, the two boys. Because there's a part of me that thinks that, like, especially when it comes to Disney, that is kind of like the go-to subversive ending right now, you know? Whereas, like, if a movie's all about a relationship or whatever...
Frozen, too.
Frozen, I mean, even, like, La La Land, I think about Wreck-It Ralph.
It's not Disney.
But I said especially with Disney, but it also applies to other things. Especially with, like, movies about relationships, whether it's, like, romantic or, like, a children's movie about friendship, like, having them split up and have to, like, you know, deal with the internal feelings of, like, splitting up with somebody you love, like, physically. It's just, like, a thing I feel like I see a lot, and it feels like a thing that's very much, like, reactionary to... The like formulaicness of animated movies, you know, like they're trying really hard to like subvert what you expect, and like I can't help but think like I think I would have liked this better if they had just both gone to school together, you know. Like I kind of just wish they like it feels like they were, at least to me, it feels like they were kind of trying to subvert what you were expecting them to do, but I kind of wanted them to do what I was expecting them to do. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay,
Anna.
here's like why I am okay with it. And I mean you are right with like that sort of becoming like a trope in like emotional, you know, animated movies and everything. But like for me, what was his name? Was it Alberto?
Yeah.
The kid with the tall hair.
Well, it's actually pronounced Alberto.
Yeah.
Alberto. Yeah. But like part of the really, really important things to like his character was that like was like his attachment to his dad and like his dad who left him. And like he got to stay behind and like bond with Julia's dad and like got to have a father figure again. And I thought that was like really important because I mean the second he mentions like, oh, my dad lets me do whatever I want because he's not around, it's like immediately, you know, that's going to be like a big deal.
Yeah.
So it was like bittersweet because also they're coming back. Like it's like where they live in the summer. Like it's not like they're never going to see each other again. And also
they're
like
talking on the phone all the time, baby.
Yeah, so it's like she's only going to be gone for a while and then he's coming back. And also Alberto gets like to have like a relationship with like a father figure, which felt important.
I mean, and like their answer to like Vespa means freedom is different for both of them because like Alberto already got to do everything he wanted to do. He I go here when I do this, and I go to sleep when I want, and I go to the human world when I want. I do what I want, but like there is no like if there isn't somebody who cares about you, then like I'm trapped in this cage of like loneliness. But then it's freedom for Luca is completely different, and he wants to know things. Like he doesn't want to be constrained by like this fearful little bubble of hurting fish that which also I'm a big fan of. When that first little fish gave a little baw, I chuckled. I said, thank God they did that.
I just feel like I don't get the bit. Like I don't know what the joke is.
No, they're sheep fish.
It's
so they're sheep.
They're sheep.
It's so sweet.
They're fish that are sheep, I guess. Like sure, fine, I guess.
I have such an affinity for sheep though.
And you could hear like the noises that fish make. It would probably be like culturally similar to hearing a sheep bleeding. You know?
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, got it. Continue.
That was the bit.
Freedom was different for both of them, and I appreciate that like they didn't try to like say and the gang stuck together, which is, you know, which they will and they won. Go underdog, go under the dog team. Very happy. Very happy for them and their prize money.
I mean, the big part about Roberta's character also was stigma that he had about him about being like the bad kid. Like he literally says that. Like they have that conversation sometimes. Like Luca is like, I'm a good kid. I don't do all these bad things that you're doing, which is a part of like Luca's journey of like empathy and curiosity and stuff like that. But with Roberto, he has that like kind of stigma against him of like, oh, you're the bad kid. You do the weird things that nobody else wants to do, and then you get in trouble, and that's why you're by yourself. You're by yourself because you deserve to be, because you're the bad kid. I get part of me, I think, especially because the way that we deal with this scene where Luca like gets the books and like starts to like actually learn like how the world works and stuff like that, and Roberto gets angry about it. I kind of thought it would be like the next big step for his character would be to kind of go to school and kind of realize that, like, there's nothing about you that's bad. You, like, you know, like, to go into experience those things that he'd been avoiding because he thinks there's something wrong with him or he's not good enough for it.
Right.
So to him to, like, go and experience those things that he didn't think he deserved to or didn't think that he would like or whatever. I thought that would be a logical...
I don't think that for him, the logical was, like, learning things is the answer to this. It was, like, for him, he thought running away. Like, I need to be running away. I need to keep running away.
Right.
If I can go anywhere. Like, if I can leave this island, then that's good enough. But it was less about the island and more about, like, having a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs a family.
It's like, Luca already has the support of a family. Like, he has both his parents.
Like, too much. He's going to go to the deep blue sea with his clear uncle.
That guy rules.
It's terrifying uncle.
That was you have to punch his heart was such a good bit.
That is an S-tier Pixar character. That is top.
He just, like, is sitting in the corner. He's like, hello there.
I wonder
what he
like a like deep sea angler fishy like.
I wonder what he looks like when he goes on the surface. Is it different, or does he just also become
really
like
upset that they didn't make him go on the surface?
Yeah, maybe he's like a blobfish, you know, like if he goes too high, like he's gelatinous, and so he'll like explode.
Yeah,
maybe.
It might happen. I don't know. Pixar,
tell me.
Let Uncle whatever go on the beach.
Yeah.
Who is he? Is that the anglerfish? Just keep swimming, Finding Nemo.
That's the same one.
Is that him?
Yep.
Is that
in the same universe?
Okay. Did you guys notice and appreciate how cool the surface tension on the water always looked?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
it was like
scene when they're swimming over, and they're like he water skis across the water
out of it.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was neat.
I think that
he's like having the dream or the daydream or whatever, where he's like poking his head out of the water and he's not breaking the surface tension. Like, even that was like, oh, pretty.
For a second, I was like, oh, his mom can control the water. He can't get out without someone's help. But then I understood what was happening.
So this is true. Dylan has just brought up in the chat something we haven't talked about in a hot second, which is, where does this movie fit in the Pixar timeline?
It's like
the 40s, right?
Right. I mean, is it? I think that it's sort of...
I don't think it's during World War II, Adeline.
Well, it's not the 50s, though.
It's one of those things where it's like Napoleon Dynamite, where you're like, this is like set in a small town, and I'm not sure if this is set in the 80s or if it's 2004 and people in Preston, Idaho just have this furniture still.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, yes, it is happening during World War II. And they're like, oh, glorious leader.
That World War II happened in the Pixar universe? Is that you think that there's a Pixar Hitler, Kezia?
No, I'm talking about Pixar Mussolini. That's who I'm talking about.
Right.
Hello? Why do you think they're going to school to learn? How to drag someone through the school?
How to be a Hitler youth.
Yeah, exactly.
Keisha, you're the type of person that after everybody watches Beauty and the Beast, you're like, well, what about the French Revolution? They're all rich. No. You're that person.
You know this takes place during the 40s,
You said it.
It's very clearly, like, at least in our reality, because there are Vespas.
I'm saying that World War II doesn't necessarily mean that it happened. And also, I think Jackson is a little bit right. It could be the 50s, but just because it's such a small town that it seems like it's still the 40s, you know, because they just don't have new stuff.
Is this the first time in a Pixar movie that they've had, like, brand recognition before? Like, has there ever been, like, Coca-Cola or something?
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it.
Weren't there name brand cars in The Incredibles?
Oh, Mack trucks. There were Mack trucks in Cars.
Right. Well, all the cars are real cars.
Yeah, all the cars are real cars. Okay. Maybe we need to talk to Dan. I don't know.
Yeah, let's call Dan.
Dan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they've ever had name brands in a Pixar movie before. I never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Toy Story, obviously.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. I was like, Buzz Lightyear's not a real toy, Jackson.
Now
it isn't real.
I guess this movie doesn't have that far-reaching of consequence on the Pixar universe. It's just like there are some sea monsters, and you're like, sick.
Yeah, well, Italy doesn't really have a big part to play
Italy's
in the Pixar universe.
Everyone knows
it's
that.
It's true. That's true. Sorry, pasta lovers. Lasagna.
Have we checked back in on that website, see if they've made any observations in the last few years?
Well, what else what's come out since then? I don't know. Well, so the world in that timeline, the world has to end it again for Onward, because how are they going to explain all the elves and shit? Like, the world has to end again.
It seems like they're somewhat derivative of these sea monsters. Sea people, excuse me.
The Pixar Theory website only goes up to Monsters University still, so we've got lots of ground to cover.
Onward, they give you the whole history.
Yeah, not the whole history.
Well, yeah, because it starts when they're like living in caves and shit, and they're like in medieval times. So then you get to modern times.
Assumed history. How come King Tutankhamun had babies mummified with him? What up with that? Someone explain that to me.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Are you talking about real life now?
Two baby girls mummified in his tomb. Why did he have them? Why did they have babies? Why would you take those to the afterlife?
Why are you talking about this?
I don't know, because we don't know everything about history. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Wasn't King Tut like a teenager?
Wait, what?
Wasn't King Tut like a teenager when he died?
Yeah.
He had a lot of issues, but he was already, you can start popping those guys out, pretty quickly.
He was like an inbred 14-year-old who became king. Like, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't exactly like a cool
could have
wife.
been his wives. If you're 15 and you got a 6-year-old wife, it's gonna be a baby when it dies.
Clubfoot, overbite, bad back.
What the fuck are we talking about?
It's probably good luck.
I feel bad for him.
Inbred Egyptian
podcast to a halt.
This is the first time anyone's
at the divine right of kings.
I'm just saying, you can't know every history. Can't know all history. Some things are mysteries.
Here's my last criticism of LUCA. This is my final point. I kind of wish there were more jokes in it. There's not like a ton of jokes in this flick.
There's some slapstick.
Fair.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some jokes, but there weren't any like real knee slappers in this. Like
they say Santa cheeses a lot. Santa mozzarella, Santa ricotta.
Yeah, it's very funny and definitely didn't make me think, is this offensive every time it happened?
Say cheeses. Yeah, that's fair. The cat was funny. That's funny.
That was funny.
I think it's also like it's hard to you have to remind yourself that I'm not a child, so it's hard for me to know what 100% children are gonna laugh at.
What the kids are gonna be quoting for the next 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause what's funny? Eating spaghetti with your hands.
Honestly,
like
the
all
parents,
these things.
there have been times
like dunking all the kids was a really good joke.
That was funny. That was really funny. That was the funniest part, probably.
The water balloons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because all these things we're describing, like the cat and like the eating spaghetti with the hands, like all these things are like, they're like funny, but they're not like a joke. It's not like a fucking knee slapper, Like I want there to be like some jokes, like some good jokes.
You want like a Finding Nemo? Like I really wish I could. I know that you're trying to communicate with me, but I really can't understand what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Finding Nemo is fucking so funny as hell.
Finding Nemo is so good. Lilo and Stitch is so good. I quote Lilo and Stitch once a day, at least.
This is funny. You got jokes.
It's true, but this is maybe the Gen Z. They just don't. They're beyond us as cuspers.
I have some terrible news for you, Keisha. I think you are just Gen Z, and I think you need.
No, the three of us are very much.
It's pretty much the definition of a zillennial.
Yeah, 96, 97 is like the cusper thing.
The cusp.
Yeah.
See, you guys don't like Harry Potter. If you like Harry Potter, you're a millennial. That's the rule.
Right.
Or skinny jeans.
You want to know? Okay.
How do you feel about Christian Girl Fall? How do you feel about that, Jackson?
I want to air a grievance with TikTok. which is that I think that any content that's just like, I think that this happens disproportionately to different groups of people. I won't necessarily go into it, but if your content is just like, if you like this movie, then that means this about you. That's probably my worst favorite kind, like my least favorite kind of content. Like that's.
Well, Jackson, you just don't like it because it's always telling you you're an incel if you like Fight Club and you really like Fight Club.
It's not even that. It's like, oh, here's what your favorite Pixar movie says about you, and it's always like, oh, if it's Toy Story, the most popular one, then you're definitely a non-binary person with autism and who's a Gemini, and it's really hard for you to make friends or whatever. And then it's like, if your favorite is The Incredibles, you're a dickhole and nobody likes you. And you're like, what is this based on? Who is this for? You're just like synapses firing in your brain. And you're saying the first thing that comes to your head.
Jackson, it's nothing. It's a joke.
It's nothing! That's what I'm saying!
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
It's nothing!
That's what's created. What the creator is doing. The creator is making it as a joke. The creator does not have these sincere beliefs.
I know that, Adeline. I don't think they literally believe that.
What the fuck are you talking about? You don't like that joke, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's annoying.
Don't like that kind of. Okay. Don't like that kind of.
I think it is wildly inaccurate. I think it is often annoying. I think it is so broad it doesn't make any sense. The jokes never make sense to me, and it is so often just like telling people that they're assholes because they like Finding Nemo or whatever, which I think is like damaging for tweens.
Tell you my favorite TikTok. It's
the entire internet is damaging for tweens.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Wait, this is my favorite TikTok.
No one below the 18 should be here at all. Period.
Right.
This is how it goes. He goes in an Italian accent. He goes, "I do a kick," and then he kicks, and he's like, "I do a punch, I do a leap," and then he goes, "I'm levitating." That's it.
Go on.
I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny.
I
do a flip. Anyway.
How are we feeling about Luca?
Like it.
I like it.
Cool.
I love Jacob Tremblay. I think he's a very sweet young boy.
I wanted to talk about Jack Dylan Glazer. Glazer. Because it weirds me out that his voice is changing.
May I share an anecdote? It's very horrible.
Okay, sure.
So,
okay,
I'm sorry. I watched Disney Channel as a child, and everyone, eventually stops watching Disney Channel. Sorry to Disney Channel, but like there's some shows that you didn't see. You saw like the first few episodes or like first few seasons, but then you didn't see the ending. I've been going through and watching like just the last episode of some shows that I like aged out of just to see what happened. And it's troubling. Like the Austin and Ally season finale series finale is weird. It's crazy. I highly recommend it for everyone. It really takes you on a journey. But like voices are changing. There are like 17 new characters. But like Jack Dylan Grazer's voice, when I saw that was him, I was like, this is what? Who? Have you heard of a staph infection? Like that's not the same thing.
Right.
It couldn't be.
You guys carry this for a second because I'm looking at Amazon reviews right now before we wrap it up.
Oh fuck! So there's that like iCarly like new show that's coming out. That's like and the actress who plays Sam is not going to be in it, and she came out and said like, oh yeah, because I was miserable the whole time, and I was like being abused by the director, and like now I'm an activist who like speaks out against like parents who make their kids child stars, and like the fact that they just have to keep the show going, like knowing that that's all just out there in the open is just like the most painful fucking elephant in the room. Like,
because Dan Schneider's not a part of it anymore, is he? Because if he is, I don't think anybody would be excited about it. Yeah, because that man's a fucking pedophile with a foot fetish who's been abusing teenage girls for years. Like Victorious, iCarly, all of them are like, Dan Schneider just wanted to look at our feet and lick our feet all day. And it's like, what the fuck? Why did we let this happen?
Because consider
like,
this.
There's
He's a
so
powerful
much
man.
foot shit. Yeah, there's so much foot shit in iCarly, and it's solely because Dan Schneider was obsessed was specifically
With little
Sam's
girls'
feet, and it's disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, and now she's
we
got
just let
apparently
him,
a
and we
really
just
good
let him.
podcast where she talks about like the realities of like growing up with a stage parent and being like on the stage and since she was a toddler. That apparently is like really good. It's like a good podcast.
It's called
But there's
Feeling
also
Nothing with Jeanette McCurdy, I think is what it's called.
Is it?
I think it is. Here, let me see. Jeanette.
Apparently they cast another kid in the new iCarly series as like a new character who has also like been doing work since they were like 2. So the cycle continues, I guess.
Yeah, that's like
that
is a challenge
Empty
for sure.
Inside.
Oh yeah.
With the added like how do you there is no answer, but like how do you differentiate between like someone who is like an actual child that is excited about acting versus like someone who is the only income earner for their family and their mom has cancer and can't work? Like it's crazy. It's like that. Yeah. But like if you talk to
what abuse is going on behind closed doors.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like, you know, being a child actor who like enjoys acting and having a stage parent.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Because there are some people who are like fucking weird as hell about their kids acting.
I've known a few.
Oh yeah.
I'm just totally disassociating right now because I'm looking at the 1-star reviews on IMDb for this movie.
Are you getting mad?
No, I'm not getting mad. They're just literally all precisely the same. Every single one. I'm just gonna read you a few.
Give us a sample.
I wasn't impressed by Pixar's newest animated installment. The film started off a bit interesting, and then the story became less interesting, and it felt like a series of shorts. It was too colorful, and seemed like it was aimed at young kids. Cute film, however, I can't believe this is a Pixar movie. The quality of the film is subpar because the animation is very cartoony, and the storyline is boring, and seems like it's directed very much at children. Very questionable film, didn't really recommend it. They say the exact same 3 things over and over and over again.
You think it's too cartoony? I'm gonna fucking beat your ass.
May I speak to the internet directly right now? If you're looking at me in the eyes, look me in the eyes. If you're not, look me in the ears. This is a movie for children. You need to remember that. No. It's not for you. It's not about you. The whole world is about you. Not everything is stupid Marvel movie that was made just for you and your whatever. You need to enjoy things and let them be what they are.
You want adult animation? Death, Love, and Robots is right fucking there, guys. Like,
oh god.
Go watch Castlevania.
Talk about Uncanny Valley. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I still haven't actually seen it, which is wild considering who I am as a person.
I just like it's one of those, like when I saw the Lego movie the first time, I just needed to get through like the first 10 minutes because the animation like made me feel slightly uncomfortable, but then I was like, I'm okay, I got it, but I can't do it. No? Can't do it. It's just like
they're making
it's a little too creepy.
An Uzumaki movie.
So here's what I'm thinking about.
Does that mean you know what that is, or does that mean
I don't know what that is? What does that mean?
It's the horror manga guy who writes the really like fucked up like body horror stories.
Oh yeah.
About, like a town where like all the people turned into like spiral monsters.
You're thinking of Junji Ito. Anna, you're thinking of Junji Ito.
Yeah, the story's called Uzumaki.
Oh, okay.
It's by Junji Ito.
Yeah, you said he's the guy who did this without ever saying his name. So.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. It's the book that the guy wrote.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking about right now.
Body horror.
You and I and many other right-thinking people in the media consumption world understand why
say right thinking.
Shut up. Like understand why the animation in this movie is like interesting and special and like how it's an intentional choice, right? Like we can see that like this is what they're trying to do. It's very clearly a departure from their normal style. But when I read these reviews, I see over and over and over again, the animation's not as good. It was more cartoony and didn't feel as good. People just don't like it. They don't have the vocabulary to like understand like why it's good, you know?
And like good is doing some pretty fucking heavy lifting in those reviews.
Yeah, because that's the thing, like it just makes me think about it. Like when you're making content for the broadest possible audience like this, you want to do something that pushes your format. You want to do something that appeals to people who like to think about it and who have like a passion for the craft. But the reality is that a lot of people, as evidenced by these reviews, will see this and be like, looked bad. It looked bad. It didn't look as good as the other ones because it was different and it was simpler and it was broader, you know? And like, I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking about that. Like from a marketing perspective, I wonder how you deal with something like that, how you approach these kinds of problems.
You kick their ass.
I think
you say you're fucking boring.
It's not
when people are like, it doesn't feel like a Pixar movie. Like the movies that came out when we were younger were like very much set in like this melancholy tone.
Right.
Like there is nothing sadder than Finding Nemo.
Right.
And it feels somber. Like the animation is very much like kind of muddled and muted and it's still very like clear, but it's sad. Like it feels sad. And this movie is much more jubilant than that.
Yeah, it's not as deliberately tear-jerking.
Right, yeah.
As like the 7 minutes of Up.
Like every Pixar movie must be tinged in melancholy, or it's not a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Bugs Life, no, it's pretty sad. Bugs Life is sad. Never mind, I take it back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know, like it's
it's about like oppression.
During it, colorful movie.
They literally
the
are
is very
stamped
happy.
on.
Yeah, but it's not.
Little bug, tiny bug by Randy Newman.
Little bug, tiny bug, just a bug.
But it's not framed as a children's movie. It's not that hard hitting. Like it's okay, oh scary bad guy, but it's not. I don't cry during A Bug's Life.
I do.
Okay, well,
I cry
there you go.
I cry when Flick gets kicked out. I cry when Princess Ada gets punched. I cry when Dot is like pretended to seed. I cry when the ladybug gets misgendered. I haven't seen Bug's Life for a while, so
okay. So anyway, do we want to wrap it up? Do we have anything else to say about LUCA?
It's really good.
Let's read a creepypasta.
Yeah, do you have a creepypasta?
Creepypasta. I knew that.
I've been looking forward to it all day.
We can do a creepypasta. We can have a 2-hour-long episode here. Hold on.
We're not going that long anyway.
Like almost 8 o'clock.
Find an underwater creepypasta.
Ocean.
You're gonna make me. I have a list of prepared creepypastas. You're gonna make me
okay,
find.
well, yeah, then just pick one out.
Yeah.
Is there one that is about Italy?
Is there one about Italy that's also about mermaids?
Or fish, just in general?
I've got a really, really good one about a vending machine.
There's pasta in vending machines. Sometimes.
In Italy there is.
It's a bug. Little bug. Tiny bug.
Just a bug. I think that's the words, right?
No, it's just a bug, hardly there.
Oh, hardly there. Just a bug.
I like
little bug, hardly there.
I think it would be better if it was all bug. Just a bug, little bug. I'm a bug. Being a bug, it's hard to be a little bug.
Little bug.
It's hard to live a bug's life.
Is that what that means? Write that down. Send it to Pixar.
I like guys. I got a Red Bull from my local vending machine, and I opened it up and I put 25 cents in, and I was so excited because what a deal for a Red Bull. So I put 1 coin in, and I turned the knob and pushed the button, and the Red Bull fell through. and it fell, and I could hear it falling. I never heard it make impact, and it kept falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. And welcome to Creepypasta Book Club. So I've sent this into the chat. Whoever wants to read it, go ahead.
What do you mean you heard it keep falling and falling and falling?
Usually you're talking about something that's happening to you in this moment, not just like.
So it's about a vending machine.
Fuck you! You told me last time I did one of those, you were like, Adeline, these fucking suck. Get better at that.
And you
So
just
don't
shake
even
them up.
do that for me.
Diversify your endings.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is a very short one. Looks like.
Creepypastas don't, and I have to.
Yes.
Whatever. Fuck you guys.
Red Bull kept falling, and I never heard it. This is funny. It's like,
Anyway, that was months ago.
that was months ago. It's still falling
Next
to
to
this
this vending
day.
machine ever since.
Falling and never stop falling. That's terrifying.
Oh, hey,
The vending machine
wait.
is still out of order.
Creepy pasta.
Sometimes I go back just to check if it's still falling, and it is.
That we've been making that joke.
Did we?
Get in
Okay.
line.
All right,
Yes.
all right. I've been multitasking. I might have
Okay.
missed a few things.
It's in the Discord.
Anna, this is all you.
Who wants to read
You have to do it in a Randy Newman voice, though.
I cannot do that. I think
Okay,
I can
then
do it.
Italian.
I think I can do like a bad Catherine O'Hara though.
No, don't. Just read the fucking creepypasta. Jesus.
There is a village somewhere in England that has not been inhabited for over 20 years. It has long since been forgotten off of most maps, and only has one road in and out of it.
England's not
If you
that
manage
big.
to find it, it will seem a peaceful enough place. The derelict buildings being overgrown and nature taking back the land for herself. However, somewhere within the village is a vending machine which still has power. It will still have its original look and sell ordinary brands of drink,
Like that.
though with 20-year-old packaging. The one at the bottom will be marked E.
Try.
Pay
Kezia,
in
New
only
Coke
10p
was approximately 50 years ago now. You need to get it together.
Try New Coke! I'm so bad at it! I just want to know! The vending machine has the answers.
They were not doing New Coke in 2001.
I know that. I just want to know what New Coke is.
Okay.
What's wrong with it? It's Coke.
Keisha, you are destroying your microphone.
I'm mad about the Coke thing now. I'm
Okay.
mad about it.
Should I keep going?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
one
you
at
go
the
ahead.
bottom will be marked E. Pay only in 10p pieces to buy this drink. Before drinking the
pounds?
mysterious beverage, peer inside the can to check its color. Do not try to pour some out. It will refuse to
fucking
leave the
idiot.
can despite any vigorous shaking you may attempt. If it is green in color, drink heartily, as it will give you an unnaturally long lifespan and good luck in everything you do. If it is
Ugh.
red, however, drinking it will spread a horrific pestilence over you, claiming one of your senses every 10 years after the date that you first imbibed. The end.
That fucking sucks. Hey, what if there was a vending machine that had very clear and concise instructions on it? Like, why is
So
this?
if you get the bad one, just don't drink it,
Yeah.
idiot.
If you get the good one, why do you want to live that long? 150 years
Well,
is
because you'd also have
be
good
on
luck.
this earth.
Because
Yeah,
you'd
good
have
luck.
you'd have good
Oh.
luck in everything that you do.
But
And
you're
Kate-
still gonna be around.
It's
I
only if
just-
it's green though. So if it's not green, you just have to keep buying one
Just
until you get it.
don't-
green.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Kate is making a good point in the chat, which is that the soda apparently costs approximately 13 cents US dollar.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's also like
Oh, it's 10
just
pence. Is what that
Sprite.
is. I didn't
Yeah.
know what that abbreviation was.
Like there, or you can get a ginger ale.
well, no,
you
it's
know?
called E. Is the one that's magic.
Right.
Yeah, so you can be like, do I want a magic drink or do I just want a root beer? And you can just get a root beer.
Yeah.
And then you just
Get a
and then you just
fucking Dr.
I don't-
Pepper.
Like for a
happens-
reason, like a 10 cents. You can
Yeah.
you can
it's
shake
like, oh,
that.
this is a
That sounds
screaming
great.
deal. I'll just-
If you're in England,
Yeah.
take a stop.
okay. So
Why would
So
an
what it
English
does to
town
you-
have been abandoned 20 years ago? That seems too recent to me.
You
and
know,
like
every-
and also like
So if you drink it when it's red, every 10 years you lose one of your 5 senses.
Right.
Well, they didn't say 5 senses.
Generous if you're like 30.
Yeah.
That's true.
I can go blind at 40. That's fine.
Like, that's really not that bad. Like, it doesn't even kill you. You just like, oh, in 10 years you can't see, I guess.
Well, they also never specified what the senses were. Maybe it's like sense of fashion, like sense of timing.
Could be.
You're like weird, like light detection sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like
you can't tell when lights are on in rooms anymore.
Yeah, you just like you can't like sense when people are like in a bad mood, so you just like you're like, oh, just keep going, I guess. You're like, all right, everyone's really having a good time. We'll stay out until 3 in the morning, and obviously everyone's tired.
What
you
happens
can't
if you
tell?
Right.
What happens if you drink both?
I mean, I don't think the two consequences are mutually exclusive.
But you can't see, taste, hear, or see, like say anything.
But you're immortal.
You just live forever, and you're really lucky.
That's what Johnny Got His Gun is about.
It is. He drank both.
Yeah, those consequences aren't mutually exclusive. You can live to 150 and have good luck, and also lose your sense of smell at 40.
Yeah, it's like
maybe you're lucky enough that you won't.
In a way, the red drink kind of just sounds like what aging is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like one of them,
like,
you'll live forever,
in 30
and you're really
years,
lucky.
I might not be able to hear. Yeah, that
like
sounds about right.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure.
You're like, it's worth it for that sweet, sweet cherry flavor. And
yeah.
And
do you want to read
what it tastes like?
Price point.
I got the red one, but I just drank it. It was really good. I might go back for seconds.
Yeah, I got the red one, but I'm not gonna waste 10 cents. What am I, crazy?
Right.
I'm reading the comments, and here's one I really
yeah.
like. It says, "It is a creepypasta I have seen on YouTube. It is actually not that bad."
Like, I want to see it. Send a link. Put a link in the description below.
What, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this other one that says, those liquids are basically saying, and then it has a red square.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I like this one. This guy has a good point. He says, how are you supposed to drink it out of the can if you can't pour it out of the can?
I like this person who says,
a really good point.
I like this one that says, it's okay even though it's not that creepy, but something is something.
You did post on this website, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think the creepiest thing is that it's sad that our rural towns, people are fleeing them and going to urban settings, and that means that our small town industries are falling apart. It's very sad.
True.
R.I.P. those whom drunk the drinks.
Neither of them make you die.
Make you, your sense of life,
your sense of
liberty, your sense of the pursuit of happiness.
Instructions unclear. Drink is yellow.
Did you see the one above that? I could really use that green stuff right now. My parents can barely pay the rent, so I have no idea how I'm gonna pay off my college debt.
People in forums.
Oh no! Maybe that's a creepypasta. It's a mini pasta.
There is.
He's so desperate.
Here's a really good one. I found it interesting that there would still be a vending machine that works there, and liquid does not defy gravity, so I am skeptical that this is even real.
You know, they make a fair point. Fair point.
There is a special kind of person who is just simultaneously incredibly sad and completely unable to read a room online.
Yeah, because they drank that red drink. It's just their sense of understanding the internet.
Right. It's just like you're watching some music video and you scroll down in the comments and they're just like, my mom beats me every night. And you're like,
sorry,
that sucks. I'm really sorry for you.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something. I don't know.
And you're like,
there's nothing I can do.
Are they even telling the truth? Like, who are they? Like, what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Sense of direction.
Oh. No, here's a really good one. This story has many holes, and the first line of the first sentence gave it up.
like, quote, somewhere in England, unquote. Dude, just give us a specific place so your pasta won't be as boring as when you read that line first and foremost. Courtesy of someone who thinks they know how to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You have to give us a specific existing town. Otherwise, it's unbelievable.
Kind of weak.
I think that your creepypasta needs to be more grounded in reality next time. Thanks.
Yeah.
I want
a tall guy in the forest. What forest?
This person who clearly knows, Shadow Slasher 13, who knows better than all of these people. I want to reread this sentence just so you can listen to the grammatical structure. Just give us a specific place so your pasta won't be as boring as when you read that line first and foremost.
I'm trying to figure out what they
reread the creepypasta, but just be like, in a town called Frankfurt. In Essex. Oh, isn't it so much better now?
Abandoned town. I'm
an
less
abandoned
bored.
Town called.
I'm not bored anymore.
Your mom.
Oh, sick.
Like, yeah, I'm so fucking hung up that I don't have a specific town title.
Yeah, it's good to start.
The town title was lost to history.
Yeah, it's Vending Machineville, don't you know?
Kezia, where can the good people follow us?
That is such a good question.
No one knows. That's the real creepypasta.
Follow our Twitch account, and because we stream nearly every Friday, and if not on Friday, then a day that is adjacent to Friday.
True.
We will let you know.
And hey, if you're not following,
we will not be streaming next Friday.
Yes, we will be. Remember, we're getting tabby.
Pokemon.
Adeline, can you hear me?
Oh, that's right. Never mind. We will be.
So we will be streaming next Friday with Tabby. We're gonna be doing Pokemon Heroes with Tabby next week.
Yeah.
But if you're watching on Twitch and you're not following us, it would really mean a lot to us if you did, because we are trying to go for affiliate in the near future, and we need 50 followers for that. We're at 27 right now, which I think.
50 followers, and Jackson grows a beard.
And I will grow a beard. I will put bad things on my face for the sake of
Anna
beard.
Specifically requested it.
And yeah, so we're trying to get to 50. We're at 27. Doesn't cost you anything. Just gotta click that follow button. Because
what did it cost you? Everything. Thanos. Thank you.
Thanos did say that.
Bowing. I'm bowing for the listeners at home.
Because we can't get subscriptions until we're affiliates. So we gotta do that. It's like step one. So it doesn't cost you anything. Just follow. It'll let you know when we're streaming. And I stream by myself sometimes. Sometimes I stream Mario with Adeline. We've done that a couple of times. We've got different things going on. Might stream just, kind of spur of the moment every once in a while. But we're definitely streaming every week right here. And if you want to know about it, especially if we
can bully,
change it up. But follow. We want those followers. We need them.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want
Jackson
me to
into playing Minecraft.
Or, let me know if you want me to stream any Glee rants I go on. Because, wow, I do them for free right now already.
You could do a Glee watch-along.
With no listeners.
You could not do a Glee watch-along. You would get banned from Twitch.
You wouldn't put it on the screen.
I will not watch-along. I will just rant about it. A Glee rants. A glance, if you will.
You should bring my mom on for that. My mom loved Glee at one point.
Oh, that sounds like a perfect podcast.
It's just Maddie, me, and Suzanne. We're just
everybody's mourning the death of frenemies right now. I feel like the next logical leap in that oeuvre is me and Anna's mom watching Glee and doing a podcast about it.
Well, if you want to listen to this again, you can it'll be up on our YouTube channel, No Nerds Allowed. Jackson also just uploaded a video like a week or maybe 2 weeks ago. It's hard to tell I lost my sense of time to the pandemic and also to that red drink that I drank in a small abandoned town in the UK, England, whatever. Yeah, so who's to say? But it was really good. You should listen to it.
It probably wasn't even real.
Probably not, but
you don't have the coordinates. What's the matter with you?
Anyway, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter at No Nerds Pod. You can follow Jackson at Jebberpack. You can follow Alan at Hollow Back Horse. And thank you to Anna for being here, talking about Boss Baby first and foremost.
You can follow me at Rad Was Taken, and you can follow my podcast at Site107 on Twitter.
And listen to our podcast on Spotify. It's in other such listening platforms.
Or wherever podcasts are found.
Whatever. And there's one spot where podcasts usually aren't found, but it's a secret place. You have to try and find it on your own.
It's at the bottom of those cans.
It's third from the bottom.
It's third from the bottom. You open it and it's just like a canned noise. Like you open it and it's like,
or like those cow cans when you tip it over, but it's just like,
and it's just Logan saying, "Hello, listeners."
Yeah. So if you can find that, you can maybe live forever. You get a podcast in a can, and you get a 10-cent Coke.
You can make it anywhere.
New Coke from the 80s.
An E.
I'm done.
Okay, sick.
I think
we're all having a good time here.
Join our Discord.
Yeah, Discord. Discord's important. Discord rules. Good over there. That is in our bio.
It's in our bio.
Okay. And also, I know I said earlier that I wanted to have a video essay out every 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to make it because that's this Monday. But Monday after that, I'm going to call 3 weeks. Video essay every 3 weeks. I'm just narrowing in on what's realistic for me in my life today. I think 3 weeks makes more sense. So I've got another video essay coming out soon. Not like 6 months from now. Within a number of days from now. Not like last time. Anyway, just putting that out there. So subscribe to the YouTube if you want to see it. So this review comes from would you guys like to hear a 1-star review of LUCA?
Mm-hmm.
So this review comes from imdb.com. And this person, the title of this review is, "This is just a longer version of a sequence from Cars 2? ? This is one of the worst Pixar movies, right next to Cars 2. Ironically, this movie strongly mirrors Cars 2, which was made about 10 years ago. The movie only lengthens a sequence in Cars 2 where the main character and his friend visit Porta Corsa, Italy, in order to compete in a race. Way too similar to the whole plot of this film. I don't know why they thought this movie would be a good idea. Maybe it will appeal to very young kids because of the bright colors and simple story? I don't recommend it to anyone over the age of 12, honestly."
Tell us you've only ever seen Cars 2 without telling us you've only seen Cars 2.
Big Boss Baby.
This movie
Italy isn't a place. It's from Cars.
Italy is a real place.
Sure. This movie is derivative of The Little Mermaid.
Kate says there's the
Derivative
connection
of
to
Call Me
the
by Your
Pixar
Name.
universe.
But it did answer how does Luca fit into the Pixar theory?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. It's part of the Cars universe.
They should have told Luca, like, look at where you're standing. Thousands of years from now, Lightning McQueen will tread these very same stones. Anyway, my name is Jackson McMurray.
My name is Adeline McMurray.
Right?
My name is Kezia Rhodes.
And my name is Anna Maguire.
And this has been No Nerds Allowed.
That's my IP.
No, I couldn't wait any longer. I only have so long till I lose my sense of hearing and taste and smell and
Wu Jumbo in the
other
chat
such
says.
senses.
Wu Jumbo in the chat says
Am I
Italy is a
lagging really
fictional
badly
place
right
from
now?
Cars
Is that
2.
what it is?
Yeah,
it is.
What if you could go to one fictional universe, where would you want to go?
Italy.
Probably Italy. Italy's cool.
Kate Kuro says you lose your sense of humor. I lost mine years ago in the war.
Cars 2 is a documentary.
Thank you. Sense of humor.
Cars 2 is a documentary about the history of Italy.
It also takes place during the 40s.
I saw them filming in Philly.
The Pope.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys in the chat. You guys have been popping off today. You got a good chat today.
Yeah.
Still no new followers though. I'm ashamed of you guys. I'm ashamed of you guys for probably already having been following us, which is probably why you're here.
This our hot girl summer too. So rude.
It truly was the dance.
Listen, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Jackson, when you grow your mustache out, you gotta wear a little like
truly
denim booty
was.
shorts if it's gonna be your hot
You
girl
don't
summer.
know, Renee.
I don't think
The
I want
only
to do
woman
that.
in my life is Joanne Fabric.
I mean, look, what I'm imagining with the mustache is just like the most normal, like just put her there, you know? I don't know.
Put her there.
I don't know if I would be capable of doing much more than that. Cause like, even if I wanted to go for like the Hitler stash, like, this area of my lip is not as densely populated as the rest of it, you know? So like,
And I'm saying
unfortunate for you, I guess.
that in order to like really emphasize the vibe of the mustache, you need to do the outfit that's like denim booty shorts
I'm not
and
gonna
no
dress
shirt.
up like one of the village people just because I have a mustache.
Well, then when are you going to dress up like one of the village people?
The four of us should be the village people for Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when? If not now, when?
Yeah.
Who else is gonna do it but us?
Yeah. The four of us.
It's true.
We're basically the modern day village people. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'll be the construction worker.
Chat asks when is the hot tub stream.
I'm saying what we're all thinking.
Hate tubs, you guys. I really am not a tub person.
Well,
Even
then,
in hot
well, the
form.
thing is, like, none of us have a hot tub, so we would just have to have each one of us in a bathtub, and then me, like, in the shower, because we only have one bathtub in our house.
If we were gonna do a hot tub stream, this probably would have been the best one to do it for, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
what other opportunity are we gonna have for a thematically appropriate bathtub stream?
Do hot tub time machine.
Okay, hot tub time machine, maybe. Because look. We've got a series of little ideas of like goofy podcasts we want to do. I think maybe hot tub time machine in a hot tub is something. Maybe that's something we could go for.
Did
What
you guys
about-
know that my late grandmother wrote a song called Christmas in a Hot Tub? And it was about spending Christmas in a hot tub where it's warm because Jesus was born in a very hot place, so there were probably palm trees there too.
I actually
that's
did
kinda
know
good.
that.
My grandma was awesome.
That's a good
so
idea for a
fun.
Christmas song.
Yeah.
Christmas in a hot tub.
Christmas in a hot tub. Yeah. It's very cool.
Jesus
song.
didn't have a hot tub when he was born, though. That wasn't until his late 30s. Just kidding. Jesus didn't live that long.
When he had a midlife crisis.
Murdered.
Didn't live that. Sadly, Jesus didn't survive until the invention of the hot
The
tub.
late Jesus Christ never got to enjoy a hot tub.
What would you say, Adeline?
My eyes were really opened when someone pointed out that historically speaking,
You just went, he never got to it. Murdered.
I saw somebody point out that like based on like historical name conventions, his name probably would have been like Yeshua or like
Right.
Joshua in like modern vernacular, and his last name would have been like something like Josephson, which means that Jesus technically would have been a JoJo.
That's great.
Oh, Adeline's back. Okay.
His stand is the Holy Spirit.
Adeline's been having a rough go of it today. We've been having
she
some
has.
issues.
It's true. You know, can't all be winners. So you guys.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Jesus did not survive to hot tub times.
No,
I'm saying, like, that is sacrificial love to, like, choose to be on the earth when there are no hot
When there
tubs.
aren't even hot tubs.
that was the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, I could have come anytime, but
Not
Never
getting
even
there in
got
time
to
for hot tub.
never even got to watch Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is so good.
Yeah. It's great.
It's a great movie.
Adeline,
Ah,
if
sorry.
Jesus were alive today, what do you think his favorite movie would be? Okay, Adeline's having a hard time.
Wait, I didn't hear your question either.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I am lagging so hard. My internet is chug-a-lugging. What did you say?
If Jesus were
If
alive
Jesus
today,
was
what do you
alive,
think
would he
his
what?
favorite movie would be?
Passion of the Christ.
No, I don't think it would be.
No, I don't really think that.
Like, my favorite movie is probably a movie where I just, like, watch myself get brutally murdered for, like, 2 hours.
Yeah, I want to watch myself get tortured for, like, 3 hours.
I think Jesus' favorite movie would probably be, like,
It'd be one of the
movie.
It'd be one of the VeggieTales movies, right?
I was gonna say Napoleon Dynamite.
You guys are all assuming that his favorite movie would be like a Christian movie. I don't think it would
Okay,
be.
but if someone made a like hilarious vegetable parody of things your dad said, wouldn't you want to watch it?
No.
I would.
I would.
Basically, my dad's a priest. That's basically what VeggieTales already is for me.
You just said that. Oh my god.
I think Jesus' favorite movie would be Ratatouille. I think it just has to be that.
Well, that's everyone's favorite movie, Jackson. That's a cop-out.
Every time Adeline disappears, our stream gets pretty wild.
Yeah. My face is cut in half.
Yeah, and Keisha's just not even there. Okay, you know what? We'll just call it a day.
I'm there in spirit. Have you seen the Scream Team? Maybe Jesus would like that. I was talking about that. It's a Disney Channel original movie. It's about ghosts, and it's not very good, but Kat Dennings is in it.
Ooh. Wujumbo has a point. I bet Jesus would like Big Lebowski.
The dude
that feels right.
So anyway, thank you guys. We had a good old stream today. Cade says Zathura is good. I don't know why they said that. I can only assume they mean that Jesus would have liked Zathura, but I don't know where that
is like from. Naughty. Is out of the Chris Van Allsburg board game adaptation books. You think that Zathura is better than any of the Jumanjis?
There's 3 of
them.
So much
so that Jesus would choose Zathura? Is it because of Josh Hutcherson? Because I see that actually.
Okay.
And JoJo.
Let's call it a night.
Okay.
Because Adeline's gone, we're doing it. Cade says Zathura is better than Jumanji. We just gotta leave it there.
And all of them.
Okay.
Every Jumanji.
Good night, everybody. We will see you next week where we'll be talking about Pokemon with Tabby, and we'll see you then. Keep us all together, sailors.